saying, quote, "No one is more committed to freeing the hostages than me, but no one will preach to me."
Fox's Jillian Turner. 5 people rescued, 3 missing following a boat crash in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. The Coast Guard says the boat was traveling at the Connecticut River at a high rate of speed Monday night when it slammed into a break wall and broke apart. The search continuing in the morning with the help of the Coast Guard. America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A lighter Tuesday, September run following Labor Day Monday, and some good rains in the area, but a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and light yearlings. We expect to sell 800 head, breaking down like this: 150, 175 weighing cows and bulls, 50 to 75 pairs of bred cows, 550, 600 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 20 to 25 cow-calf pairs, mostly young pairs with good calves at their side. Also 23 bred cows. The Smith Ranch at Hobbs, New Mexico. Excellent quality black, white face, Angus, and Brangus crossbred cows, bred to Angus and Hereford bulls. These cows 8 to 10 years old. 34 rope and size calves. The Cane Ranch of Van Horn, Texas. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred calves, 150 to 250 pounds. 35 calves, Mr. Sam Sheffield, Lakewood, New Mexico. Excellent quality black, white face, Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned 30 days, Bova Shield Gold, 1 shot, 7 weight, bunk broke 400, 500 pounds. 78 calves, Crown J&J Ranch, Artesia, New Mexico. Excellent quality black, white face, Angus and Brangus cross calves, Bova Shield Gold, Enforce 3, 8 weight at Brandon, 350, 500 pounds. 39 calves, Patricia Schaefer, Artesia, New Mexico. Excellent quality black, white face, red, white face, English crossbred calves, Bova Shield Gold, 8 weight at Brandon, 275, 375 pounds. 50 calves, Cross D Ranch, Artesia, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus cross calves, Enforce 3, 7 weight, 375, 475 pounds. And 23 calves, ML Ranch at Artesia. Excellent quality black, white face, Angus cross calves, cattle weaned, 2 rounds of Pyramid 5, 7 weight, 500, 650 pounds. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:45. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10 to 10:30. Fairly short on cows today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 800 head. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Hear ye, hear ye. Step back in time for the time of your life at the 3rd Annual Cavern City Renaissance Festival. Enjoy a weekend of magic and merriment with captivating music, thrilling armored combat, and all-new dazzling stage performances. Savor bountiful food and drink as you explore 2 stages of non-stop entertainment and discover unique treasures from over 70 artisan vendors. Bring your whole family for an unforgettable adventure on September 27th and 28th at the Carlsbad Beach Park. Advertisement paid for by the City of Carlsbad Lodgers Tax.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
Labor Day savings all weekend long at Guy Chevrolet in Artesia. This sale is an absolute blowout with savings of $10,000 off MSRP on select models, like the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X, the 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST, or the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation. This weekend only at Guy Chevrolet, 101 West Main in Artesia. Offer ends 9/3/24. Must trade in 2010 or newer vehicle to qualify for trade-in, or own or lease a 2010 or newer Buick or GMC to qualify for GMC loyalty.
Calling all Patriots, the first annual Lee County Republican Party's Freedom Night celebration is coming up September 14th in Hobbs, New Mexico, and tickets are going fast. Come meet and mingle with your elected officials, upcoming candidates, and fellow Patriots. A fun evening of food, dancing, and silent auction featuring Christina Bobb, a former United States Marine and one of President Trump's election interference attorneys. It's time to unite, make new relationships, have some fun, and make America great again. This event is not just for registered Republicans. Freedom Night is open to everyone. For more information, call or text Joanne Pennick at 575-318-4343.
New Mexico weather.
Hi, good morning. Southeast New Mexico going up to 285 on this Tuesday as temperatures reaching 79 degrees in Roswell, the 10% chance for a thunder shower. But the Carlsbad Artesia area with a 20% chance for a thunder shower, high of 76 degrees this afternoon. At our radio studios in Lovington, 74 degrees, slight chance for a shower. By tomorrow, temperatures in the 80s, no rain. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
You guys ready?
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
And I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right.
You seem particularly triggered right now.
Do you know what day it is?
It's Tuesday here. What day is it there?
Day after Labor Day.
You know what that means?
Please, tell me.
It's Telephone Tuesday.
Huh. Didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Oh my God, who do we have to thank for this?
Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the telephone.
Who you gonna call?
Who you gonna call?
Happy Telephone Tuesday.
It's showtime.
And welcome to B and the Breakfast Club on this day after Memorial Day. It is
Labor Day.
Oh, day after Labor Day. Good catch, Tom. You can see where my brain is this morning.
Did you have did you labor all weekend or what?
I labored all weekend.
Yeah.
Today is also U.S. Bowling League Day, National Welsh Rabbit Day, National Telephone Day, and National Another Look Unlimited Day. I don't even know what that means. And we do have Tom A. with us today. We have Will with us today.
What's going on, guys?
Morning,
Good
Will.
morning.
Yeah, our question of the day is being brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply. Of course, we are broadcasting out of the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Our question today, what did we say it was?
What did you do on Labor Day?
What did you do on Labor Day? That's a great question. So, did you labor on Labor Day? And our text line, sponsored by Amigo Machinery, 877-396-9105. Let us know how your Labor Day went. That's where we will start. And we got all kinds of stuff that's coming up today. We got the vice president out there telling lies, being proud of it. We've got she's going on the defensive because she didn't get a bump, all that good stuff. We are just rolling today. Do we already have some text rolling in, Tom?
Not yet, but I'm sure we'll get it in a second. No, so I went to see the movie Reagan Friday night. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis Quaid was Reagan, and then Penelope Ann Miller. Now, she's been in a couple of nudie movies, but she really had a great performance in this one. I think those should get Academy Award nominations, both those actors.
You think they should get
They
them?
should, but they're not gonna.
No, he's kind of being blackballed for this movie, I think.
So there weren't many people there either, man. I was like, come on now, this is a great movie.
Well, it's kind of funny. I do have the totals over the weekend. We'll get to those in a little bit, probably in the last hour, judging by where they are in my stack.
But if you go watch the movie, you'll see the similarities about what's going on now, communism and Marxism. He talked about it, and he fought it during his presidency when he was there. So
yeah, Reagan barely finished in the top 4.
So are you trying to say that Penelope Ann Miller was in porno, or that she had some naked scenes
yeah,
in
she
the
has some
movie?
nudity scenes.
Okay, because there's a big difference, Tom A, than the one than the other. I'm just like, whatever.
You never know with Tom.
I remember her from Carlito's Way with Pacino.
Okay.
She was in that movie, and she had a little nudie scene in that one.
I find it interesting that that's what Tom remembers from that movie.
Not me. He's a perv. He totally. That's totally what he would remember.
That was such a brief scene in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did a heck of a job. You guys got to go watch it.
So, Texter says, I fumed all weekend. George W. said he's endorsing Kamala.
Oh, no.
There you go, Mr. West Texas.
There you go,
I ain't claiming him no more then.
Well,
is he really?
Oh, my God. It took this?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't do that.
Well, no, I agree, but you just, there's a lot of stuff you don't do that he's done.
I look, I voted for the man, but there's a lot
Me
of
too.
things that I have since then I've regretted.
Well, given the choices between George W. and Al Gore, you made the right choice
back then.
Well, no question. But that being said, I'm not happy with the way the presidency turned out.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
And then he teamed up with the Obamas, right? He kind of made friends with them.
He's kind of in that
went
camp.
to the dark side.
For those who are saying the app is staticky, I'm going to restart it, so you're going to lose it for a second. I would say go to Facebook or YouTube or Rumble or one of the others, and you can
X.
text any of those words. You can text Facebook, text Rumble, text YouTube.
Twitter.
Any of those words will automatically get you a link back.
Twitter will get you the link for X.
Yes. Yeah. So you have text Twitter. Exactly. So, or whatever you want. So, because X is just too ambiguous, unfortunately, for the keyword thing. It actually have to be a word.
Right.
But Twitter will work. And then you can get a link, and then those audios are fine. I'm working on the app right now. It may take a second. I may have to actually have someone physically unplug it at some point.
All right. Well,
All right, a quick answer to the question of the day. This text says, Gaston's chiming in and says, work. Oil field hardly has any days off. You have to usually request 2 weeks in advance for days off, and if it makes sense. That's Gaston this morning chiming in on the question of the day.
that makes total sense. Well, Kamala Harris, we brought her up a minute ago, and Will, if you want to talk about what you did over Labor Day, that's great. We can do that, but we can get right into these news stories too. Your choice. How about that?
Go ahead. No, good news stories. We'll talk about mine in a minute.
Okay. Kamala, her campaign, well, she's going on the defense as Donald Trump's gained steam in the blue states. And so she did not receive an after the convention bump, which most campaigns take for granted that they're going to get a little bump.
Right.
You know, Trump got a big bump after their convention, et cetera. Nothing for her. So what are they doing? They're sending out their top surrogates, and Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff, which is, of course, her husband, to the blue states. They did that over the weekend. However, I do have this interesting thing of Kamala saying she has no regrets about lying to Americans.
Uh-oh.
Staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition.
Okay. What do you think about that? She flat out said, you know, and this is somebody on her side. Dana Bash is on her side.
Right.
Flat out. What, you know, are you ashamed that you lied to the American people? Nope, not at all. And that's really who she is, right? And if you remember, she said at one point, when someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Right.
She keeps telling us over and over again who she is. We should believe her, right?
Well, look, I think people who don't have blinders on, and they're Trump blinders, because if you, at this point, if you don't know who Kamala Harris is, you are so blinded by your lefty politics that you can't see what's right in front of your face.
Right.
Because it is clear as night and day. It really is.
It is.
I mean, it's so frustrating to me that these lefties are still going to continue to champion the cause of this craziness. Now, if you're a progressive, you know what? She's your candidate.
Yep.
100%. Go for it. I mean,
I'm gonna. If you're progressive, she really isn't. If you're a Marxist, she is your candidate.
Okay. There you go. We're even farther to the left.
Yes.
So okay, if you're a Marxist communist, then she's your gal.
Yep.
But if you want communism and you want this to be the new Venezuela, Brazil, China, whatever, then knock yourself out.
Right. And the funny thing is she also spoke recently at the NAACP thing with the Reverend Al Sharpton, and she is in favor of reparations as well. So not only is she not ashamed for lying to you, but she wants to take your money and pay other people with it who aren't really connected.
We know that. I mean, she's the consumption tax alone. There's a bunch of stuff. I mean,
yeah. Well,
the consumption tax.
Here she is talking about it real quick.
Yeah.
But in the area of reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved, if you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
God, please. And then she cackles. So they haven't quite got the cackle out of her yet.
Could that be any more clear? If I'm elected president, I'm going to buy your vote.
Right.
Because I'm going to pay you if you're black. If I'm and you know what? Honestly, if I'm black, I'm insulted by that.
And you should be.
Because if you think a little bit of money, and granted, you know, how much did those COVID stimulus checks really help you a lot? Those people who lost their businesses,
right? No, they didn't.
Who lost their lives because they took the vaccination or whatever else. I mean, did it help them?
I don't think so.
No, it didn't. And you know, extra $500. Okay, great. You know, one little shot in the arm. Yeah, I said that very, very tongue in cheek. But
we're going to get to the text in just a minute. But first, this morning, the texts are going to be brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd Street in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. From ranch and farm supplies to Western wear and workwear to feed for all your animals, they have it all. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is your certified Purina dealer, 1105 East 2nd and online at roswelllivestock.com. Tom?
All right, so this text is Jeff from the Patch says, Tom's a pervert, but he won't say the A word, the G word, or the V word, a P word.
What's the G word? I'm just
kidding. I mean,
I'm going to say
the P word.
Tom's a pervert, but he won't say the words ass, penis, or vagina. Ha, ha, ha.
What is the G word?
I misspoke. The P word.
No, the app is not streaming, Chris. I'm sorry. I had to let the computer restart. I'm hoping it comes back in just a second.
Another text says, hey, can you tell B LSU is the most overrated team this year? Says the text.
Oh, we're gonna let Kevin talk all about that when he gets back, because I'm sure he will.
So many rants because I've just been watching his social media.
Yeah.
And between the hotel problems he's had, and of course LSU losing,
right.
he's gonna be on a tear when he gets back. So just if you guys want to poke that bear, you go right ahead.
You're warned. You're pre-warned.
Yeah. So let's. And we were talking about Tim Walz just a minute ago as well, right? And we still have oil prices coming up, so we'll have those ready here in a minute. I got the thought for the day still on the way. But there are 4 retired military leaders, and they slammed Tim Walz, who is, of course, brought onto the Harris campaign because he can speak, right? Well, but he's been proven a liar. And here are these 4 guys talking about him. Now, this cut's a little bit long, but I'm gonna let it play because I have the whole story here, but I want you to hear it from their words. Here's what retired military think about Tim Walz. Come on.
You come forward.
It is morally indefensible. He didn't care. It was all about him.
He's a military impersonator.
I don't understand how he could do it morally, or he's got absolutely no integrity.
The rumor went across the state that he had quit, and it was like, who the hell does that? I mean, it was just unbelievable that a CSM abandoned his troops, 500 soldiers basically, but beyond that, there's 1,000 parents out there that expect that person to lead those people into combat.
He's a habitual liar. He lies about everything. He lies about stuff that doesn't make sense. You're taking a piece of their thunder and you're trying to capture it and put it in a bottle for yourself and use that for your own benefit.
He basically said, I've got better things to do. Go pick somebody else to go on a mission. Well, if you sold out your guard unit and abandoned them, I mean, what are you going to do at the national level?
Fear is a reaction. Bravery is a decision. And Walz has made the wrong decision. He's not brave. I call him a coward because he is.
That's a little strong, right?
Well, these are people who actually served with the man.
They are. And the whole lying thing and being the habitual liar, that really comes down to a lot of things. I have this other cut of Tim Walz here that I had labeled as the liar, so you can know exactly what they're talking about. Here he is speaking.
When I talk to my constituents in southern Minnesota, I don't care if they're Republican, Independent, Democrat, it doesn't matter to them. When I tell them, when I was in Afghanistan, you know what our troops were worried about? They were worried about their families' health care, and they were worried about their pensions. I said, do you think that's really what you want them to be worrying about? When their friends and colleagues are being shot on a daily basis, and yet at the end of the day, they have to worry about that.
So what's wrong with that statement there, Tom?
He's lying.
He's lying.
Well, why is he lying, Tom? What did he lie about?
Well, number one, he's lying because.
Okay, it's very clear. One thing, Tom.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
He didn't go to Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah, he didn't go to Afghanistan.
Yeah. And so, but he very clearly says, when I was in Afghanistan.
Never went.
You know,
and here's the thing is he served for 20 plus years.
24 years, yeah.
So why lie about those little things? Because that's the thing that's going to come back and get you. But he's trying to make himself sound better.
He could have said when we were in Afghanistan, and there would have been plausible deniability.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He could have worded that a lot of different ways, but he said, that's not the first time he's done that. That's just the most recent example.
Well, and of course that was him speaking. Now here is CNN asking him about some of these controversies, and here he is. This is him answer the question.
What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wished in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there. That's quite a contrast in folks that are trying to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there. And
I like how he takes the question and then pivots to his kid so that if you say anything.
Well, then he's lying about them too. They weren't turkey baster kids, were they? After all.
Oh my, well, what does that matter, Tom?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, because he lied about them.
Well, was it his stuff and her stuff?
Yeah.
That made the kids? Then what does it matter how it got there?
Yeah.
I mean, even if he adopted the kids, I don't care. I'm a firm believer in, family is family. I mean, and I have step family and things like that are more family than my actual blood family. I have blood family that I still don't claim to this day.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. So yeah, but again, when they're questioned on these lies, they just double down.
Right.
It's kind of like it, and I got stories to get to, but I'm going to go ahead and skip forward because I'm going to talk about the lies, because Kamala's not ashamed she's lying to you. Tim Walz is not ashamed he's lying to you. And he just told you, people know who I am. Well, you're a habitual liar. We know that.
Yes.
Right. And so the mainstream media cover for them as well and try to make lies about Donald Trump. Right? Like, we all know what we heard about him going to Arlington Cemetery, right? So here's Tom Cotton talking about the fake news about Arlington. And then I'm going to let you hear from the Gold Star families, because those are the survivors. Those are the family survivors of the people who died. And so we need to know what they think about this as well. But here's Tom Cotton right now.
Is it ever appropriate to make campaign content at military grave sites?
He didn't take campaign photos there. These families, Gold Star families, whose children died because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's incompetence, invited him to the cemetery. And they asked him to take those photos because, as they told me yesterday, when I spoke to Kelly Barnett and Darren Hoover, the parents of Taylor Hoover, who has Arkansas ties, they don't get to go to the beach on Labor Day. They don't get to have barbecues. This is their one chance to have a memory of their children, to commemorate their service and to honor their sacrifice. They wanted President Trump there. They wanted to take those photos. You know who the families also invited? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where were they? Joe Biden was sitting at a beach. Kamala Harris was sitting at her mansion in Washington, D.C. She was 4 miles away, 10 minutes. She could have gone to the cemetery and honored the sacrifice of those young men and women. But she hasn't. She never has spoken to them or taken a meeting with them.
Well, they did meet with them during the dignified transfer.
Because of
they were with them at the dignified transfer.
Her and Joe Biden's incompetence that those 13 Americans were killed in Afghanistan.
Absolutely. And he brought up the Gold Star families. And, of course, the NBC host there is just, you can see the look on her face. She doesn't know what to do.
Just once. I mean, just once. I would love for the host to defend Trump and anything he's ever done as vehemently as they defend the other side. Just once.
Yeah, they really show you who they are. And
I mean, I understand playing devil's advocate, having a discussion, bringing up something, there's a new, but that's not what they're doing. They are flat ass out defending the other side.
Right. And like I said, we have the Gold Star families and what they said about it. Wow, this is a long cut. I didn't realize it was that long. So I'm not gonna play this too long. But just know that they said, look, Trump didn't want to bring the cameras out. We asked him to bring the cameras out, and the guys that were shooting that were actually in the vehicles, and they asked for them to come out to take the photos so they could have the photos. And then there was a service member there, which is the tail end of that cut, that says, my friends and I take pictures there all the time. There's no policy saying you can't take photos. We email them to family and friends and let, our other service members see them. And so they weren't doing anything wrong by bringing out the cameras. And for, just contrast that with what we've heard from Kamala this morning. And I think it's pretty stark, especially Tom Cotton right there saying, she was 10 minutes down the road. She couldn't be bothered with it. So we still got oil prices coming up, thought for the day coming up. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the weather because that's been on everybody's mind lately. It's going to be brought to you by Janco Janitorial, located at 324 West Main Street, Suite 102 in Artesia. They're your full-service commercial janitorial service and specialize in window cleaning, office cleaning, floor stripping and waxing, janitorial supply deliveries. They also do commercial, industrial, and oil field cleaning. All of their employees are blood-borne pathogen certified, HAZCOM certified, and PPE certified. They service all of southeastern New Mexico and West Texas. You can call Amber today, 575-703-1869, or find them online at jancojanitorial.com. And the weather, well, we're going to be heating up. We got today to have a little bit more of the rain. It looks like 20 to 30% chance on and off all day today. But then tonight, everything's going to clear out with a little bit of residual rain overnight. But then tomorrow is going to be sunny, and we're getting back into the upper 80s towards the end of the week.
Well, I thought it was nice that it's going to warm up because yesterday night I put on my space heater for the first time. It got cold on the bus.
Tom, it was 68 degrees.
It was cold.
68 degrees.
You got to understand that bus ain't got no insulation. So when it's hot, it gets hot. When it's cold, it gets cold.
I've been in shorts all weekend and loving it, working in the garden and doing all that stuff. I've loved the rain. It's really helped me with watering. So that's pretty good. We need to check on oil prices real quick. Brought to you by Spinnaker Oil and Cementing Solutions. Get a great job in the oil field. Spinnaker Cementing Solutions and Cud Energy Services is hiring a service supervisor, CDL required, diesel mechanics, electronic technicians, equipment operators, and experienced pressure pump hands. You'll receive an excellent salary and one of the best benefit programs in the industry. Yes, housing is provided. Spinnaker is an equal opportunity and drug-free employer. Text oilfield to 63566 or visit greatoilfieldjobs.com.
West Texas Intermediate, $72.85. $75.74 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas is $2.18. Blake?
And there's an alleged intruder to be held without bond on assault and attempted rape charges. Now, you might remember this guy. He was accused of beating a woman with a frying pan, and he allegedly tried to rape her inside her home last month. Well, he's going to be held without bond. So 5th Judicial District Judge Thomas Lilly granted the motion from the DA's office to keep Sean Wiltsey, he's 42, out of Roswell, in pretrial detention following a hearing conducted on the same day last week. So Deputy District Attorney Tim Wyatt said at the hearing that while there were some documented history of interactions between him and the police in Arizona, there's no known criminal convictions against him in New Mexico or any other state, but he will be held in pretrial detention. And what I say about that is it's about time we're holding these folks, right?
Finally.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Back to Kamala Harris. I got a little thing on her. Did you hear her Detroit speech?
No.
Over the weekend?
I did not.
Well, she has kind of a new cringe accent that she unveiled when she did her foghorn leghorn. That's what they're they're calling it. Yeah, she raised a lot of eyebrows in Detroit.
By God.
Mm-hmm. She spent Monday in Motor City trying to shore up those union workers and says, you better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. And I didn't do a very good foghorn leghorn there, but think about that because that's exactly what she sounded like. And I thought I had that cut here, but I don't. I thought, because I wanted you to hear that cut, but anyway. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, also talking about Kamala Harris. Yeah, I got a lot of Kamala Harris stuff right here at the beginning, but this is her talking about Kamala's plan because, as you know, we haven't heard from Kamala on any of her plans other than we know she's going to do reparations, right? We know that she has no problem lying to you. So
I think the most important thing that they can do is get their economic message out. It's a message about lifting up people, working people, making sure that they're not suffering from, high prices. Kamala Harris has put out a plan, as you know, to help people buy homes. Very difficult thing these days. We've got a real housing crisis across the U.S. To make sure that groceries are more affordable and to make sure that everyday living is just easier.
Okay. Her plan is communism.
Well, okay. First of all, one of the plans is to help illegals buy homes.
Yes.
Not citizens, but illegal people who are in this country illegally, help them buy homes before citizens. And there again, all of everything that she wants is a pipe dream. But here's the thing. If you really think that she's capable of these things, why isn't she doing it now?
Mm-hmm. Right. She's trying to run like an outsider, even though she's the one in the office. And for the entire time, I've always wondered why whenever they send out press releases for the entire presidency, except for the first 2 weeks, every time that they've mentioned in their press release that they send out, usually a presidential administration will say the Reagan administration, the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, right? The Obama administration. But every time for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, it has always been the Biden-Harris administration. Like I said, except for the first 2 weeks, maybe a month of them being in office. Now, why is that? Why would they have done that from the go? Tom?
You know what disturbs me about them, about her? I was talking to my best friend over the weekend. Now his wife is battling cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a little. I said, what do you think about the political race?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I'm not paying attention to it. I said, how come? It doesn't matter. And I almost got pissed off at him. I said, it does matter. I said, we need to pay attention to what these people are telling us. And what they're telling us is a bunch of lies.
The irony of not paying attention and telling someone they need to pay attention, because Blake just asked you a specific question and you completely went a different direction.
Well, I did pivot away from that in a way.
But why? Why?
I thought my answer was a better answer.
Okay.
But the deal is that I'm wondering if people like him are thinking the same way. Is it really going to matter? Should I go and vote?
It will matter. You should vote, but that wasn't the question I asked.
I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to be mean. I'm just trying to point out inconsistencies, and I'm sure the listeners are banging their head on the dashboard too. But okay, go ahead. Sorry, Blake.
Do you remember the question? Because now I'm on.
I've forgotten now.
Well, let's just move along and say John Kennedy.
Yes.
Sometimes I love him. Like I watched the whole thing with, and I really didn't prep a story for it this morning, but when he was talking to Facebook founder, name just escaped me for some reason, Zuckerberg. Yeah, thank you. and the head of TikTok, and that hearing, and he was talking to them, and I was watching him and Cruz and everybody else. He was so spot on. One of the things he said to Zuckerberg was, "Do your terms of service still suck?" And Zuckerberg said, "I don't know how to answer that question." But anyway, Senator John Kennedy makes a comparison about Kamala. While we're still talking about it real quick, I want to bring this up because I do have this bite. And this is one of the most awesome comparisons I've ever heard.
Any senator who's telling you the truth will tell you that Vice President Harris, then Senator Harris, was easily the most left-wing member of the United States Senate, even to the left of Senator Sanders and Senator Warren. I have described her as AOC without the bartending experience. I don't mean that as a criticism. I mean that as just a factual statement. The Vice President is a San Francisco Democrat.
And a San Francisco Democrat is, for all intents and purposes, a Marxist.
Yeah.
That's who they are. You think about Nancy Pelosi. You think about the governor of California.
Gavin Newsom, yep.
You think all of these people, Gavin Newsom has done a great job of steering his state towards Marxism. And look at where it's gotten him.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, California, by all rights, should be one of the leading states in the nation.
It should be.
Because of their policies over and over and over. What empowers me, though, is when you see, even in some of these highly liberal areas, all the Trump support. Mm-hmm. I love when they do Trump marches in California because I'm just like, man, at least there's someone with some sanity there.
Yeah. When they want to bring these policies, and it's easy to track what their policies do, i.e. California. You know, they went from having a surplus like we do here in New Mexico, and now they have a huge deficit. If our governor could figure out how to do that, she would, but she can't spend money fast enough because the oil and gas industry provides so much, right? Like we are so blessed to have the oil and gas industry here.
Well, and you know what else we're blessed with? We're blessed that it's not just Albuquerque. I mean, granted, Albuquerque is so overwhelming, and you know the northern part of the state, and you know we'll throw in Las Cruces in there too. Mm-hmm. Do make it hard for us to get any Republicans elected. You know all these different things for any meaningful change. But that being said, you know we do fight back enough to keep it from becoming California and keeping people from the South and from other areas up there as much as we can. Is key to that, because without those folks, we're screwed. I mean, New Mexico is already pretty rough, but we would have been California a long time ago if they had their way.
Right. Well, and speaking of Albuquerque, you know, they had Zuzu Bra or whatever that was over the weekend, because that's the time of year that they do that. Mm-hmm. But the Albuquerque Police Department is investigating a shooting that happened near the tramway in Montgomery yesterday. 3 people were discovered with gunshot wounds just before noon. All 3 were transported to the hospital. with one of the victims in critical condition. And that's all we have on that right now. But they want the whole state to be like Albuquerque, which is a lot like San Francisco.
Sorry.
You know?
Well, I mean, it really is the homeless situation, the crime.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us have gone to Albuquerque? I mean, if those of us who've escaped without having our cars broken into or had something stolen.
I know.
Because I've had my car broken into twice, and I go to Albuquerque very rarely.
Wow.
So twice. And so I usually go once a year for the New Mexico Broadcasters Convention.
Right.
And luckily this last time I didn't have any issues.
No.
And I haven't had any issues since, because I've got all my app stuff on my Volkswagen, so I can check it. But I mean, trust me, I'm watching it like a hawk if I'm up there now.
Well, yeah, and where my room was for that was like right over. I could see exactly where my car was.
So your car,
Yeah.
all right.
I was paying attention. Before we get away from it, you talked about the movie Reagan.
Yeah.
Right. And we've talked about socialism and fascism and all those things coming to America. Reagan once said something about that. And I do want to play this real quick. It's just a little 30-second cut, but this is a Ronald Reagan flashback, right? If only we could have him as president right now.
How do we call a liberal? You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. Mm-hmm. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
I don't know that you can say it any better than
Well, and he had such a knack of saying it so plainly, so understandably, without all the political BS.
Right.
It's just, and matter of fact, he's just, you're right. I mean, and so that's why he's got so many one-liners. And that's one of the things I do love about social media and TikTok and the little because you get these trends that go, and it's just Reagan. And I get a lot of that in my feed.
Right.
And I love it. I do.
And he's just so matter-of-factly and can speak off the cuff. JD Vance reminds me a lot of him in that ability.
Agreed.
That ability.
And I love, well, you know what? JD Vance, DeSantis, Trump, I love how they can just take, and Vance and DeSantis especially, because Trump gets a little flustered sometimes and goes off point. But, Vance and DeSantis just beat those reporters up, man. With their own, just turns it around and puts it right back on them. And they just can't get away with lying to them to their face.
No. I just realized how much into this hour we already are, and I still got to do the thought for the day.
Oh, we're doing good, though. That's good.
The thought for the day brought to you by Wakefield Oil. More than 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico with quality products and excellent service. Dependable. They don't come in when the boom is here. They are always here, serving all of Southeast New Mexico and parts of West Texas. Delivery of gas and diesel, both on-road and off-road, along with oil and DEF fluid value and service that can't be beat. Follow them on Facebook at www.wakefieldoil.com or give them a call today, 575-622-4160. The thought for the day is start each day with a positive thought, like I can go back to bed in just 17 short hours. That's my thought of the day. Tom in the text.
All right. Texter says, we will never, ever go to Albuquerque anymore. I'm afraid of that place, says the texter. And I have a question, says the texter.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason California gets away with staring themselves the way they do is because the federal government continues to finance them, says the text.
Did you skip that other text, the question on purpose, Tommy?
No, I went down a little bit.
I'm just curious. So someone asked, have y'all been to the Hobbs Walmart? There's all kinds of immigrants there, scary. And there are a lot of panhandlers. I don't know how many of them are actual illegal immigrants, but, there's a fair, you get the ones with the signs saying,
work for food.
But it's funny how, there's some that work for food, and that's fine if they're actually willing to work. But it's the ones that, that are, I'm just here, we're traveling through, we ran out of gas, can you help us? But then you see the same person week after week after week.
Yeah, for months at a time.
Yeah. Well, that's work, right? You're begging for money. Kinda, isn't
According
it?
to you,
Not work.
Tom A, you're the only one that thinks that. No.
You just
when
said
there's
it's
an
begging.
actual honest living to be made from so many of these people that could actually, get jobs if they wanted to, they don't want to.
But are
That's
they
what
mentally stable? My question is, how
Well,
mentally
there's some
stable
that-
are they?
And if they're not, Tom, then they're not. And there's programs for them.
Yeah.
But how many of these folks are just taking advantage?
A lot.
Granted, unless
Look,
should there
there's-
be a way to find out if
Yeah,
they're
but
There is one.
But you don't got to give to them. You don't got to give anything.
There's one group that have a small RV. It's an older RV.
There,
right?
at the parking lot.
Yes, and they're always up by that corner where you come out across from the gas station. And they will be there in the mornings and they will be there in the evenings, and you can go find them over at Green Meadow Lake Park in the afternoon sitting in the same parking spot with their dogs out. So I get it, but that begging is not a job.
they're just, and here's the thing, and this is what bothers me, is some of these folks, not all, some of these folks are preying on the generosity of their neighbors.
Correct.
Yes.
And that frustrates me.
If someone is genuinely in need, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I could never stand out there in the corner and do it, but I get it. They make a lot of money. Those guys make, the people who are panhandling, they've done studies on it. And typically they make anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a day by people's generosity.
Or they wouldn't do it.
Right.
Well, then, but also, guys, I mean, you got to beg in the cold. You got to beg in the hot weather too. I mean, who wants to do that?
How many times do you see them out there in the cold?
All the time. All the time. Now, if I have a couple bucks, I'll give it to them. I have no problem giving it to them.
John May, you're such a liar. You don't people who give you service at restaurants, you barely give them a couple bucks. You're not giving the panhandler no couple bucks.
If I got a couple bucks in my pocket, I'll give it to them.
Whatever.
For real.
Because you never have a couple bucks. That's the caveat to that.
Maybe I should go there and shake my tin cup too, right?
That's up to you.
You shake your tin cup right here on the radio all the time.
Yeah, that is true.
How much do you live on generosity of others, Tom A? I mean, how did you get your bus?
Well,
how many people buy your meals?
I didn't ever ask for that bus. He gave it to me.
Dude, I'm not saying. I'm saying you asked for.
Hey, look, this is you're kind of like kids nowadays, Tom.
How's that?
You like Will and I are Gen X, and if we want something, we'll ask. Right? We'll say, "Hey, could you lend me $10 or whatever?" Right? You act like these kids today. You never ask. You just insinuate, like something along the lines of, "Man, I sure would buy lunch if I had $10."
Yeah, exactly. Or my birthday's coming up in a couple of days, and I really would like blank.
Yeah. Right.
Speaking of, I got to go back real quick and talk about yes. And thanks to all the birthday wishes for everybody.
Yes,
and
happy
I
birthday.
got to go back on Facebook and tell everybody thank you, because I got a bunch on Facebook and I didn't get a chance to go through and tell everybody thank you.
Right on.
But thank you to everybody who said happy birthday and had a great birthday. Of course, I was born on Labor Day, and so it was at my 50th birthday, and it was the anniversary because it was on Labor Day, so you could tell it was exactly 50 years from then.
That's awesome.
And so so Labor Day was my birthday, September 2nd, and of course all of us Virgos, it's weird how all of us are, even Tom A, which is really weird.
Yeah, I would have thought he was a Leo.
Easily, yeah. If there's any science to astrology at all, then Tom A bucks the system. But that being said, I had a great birthday. We had some fun, and of course the boy's little brother, he is one of my. It's like getting to see them grow up again.
Right on.
And that's what I love about having him around, because he just. It's like, and it's like being a grandparent without being a grandparent. I don't have to say I'm old enough to be because it's he's because I can send him back to mom,
right?
And whenever we're done, but I spoil that kid, and he's such a pleasure because he is so smart and so fun, and he's my boy's brother, so
right.
It's like he's just family. So I love it. But we had a good time this weekend and got to enjoy them, and looking forward. We're celebrating their birthday, Patrick's birthday, and Bennett, who is their younger brother. Their birthday is our September birthdays as well, and we're going to celebrate those next weekend in Alamogordo.
Yeah, my youngest son's birthday is today, so Happy birthday, Bob.
Well, happy birthday for sure. And thank you to the belated birthdays I'm getting on the text line, too. Thank you, guys.
And so these birthday updates are being brought to you by La Tienda Thriftway in Carlsbad. They still have their Labor Day sale going on for the next couple of days. So you know how those sales run midweek to midweek. So you can get fryer leg quarters still for 49 cents a pound, pork baby back ribs for $1.97 a pound, select T-bone steaks, $5.99 a pound. So don't think you're done cooking those steaks just yet, unless you really want to be. And they got seedless watermelons for $4.99 each, and cantaloupes, sweet cantaloupes, 99 cents each. That's the cheapest I've seen them all season. Typically this is the time that is going to be the cheaper on that. But get by La Tienda Thriftway in Carlsbad, 1301 South Canal Street. Give them a call, 887-5514. But just drop by. It's 1301 South Canal in Carlsbad. That's La Tienda Thriftway. And over in Lubbock, DPS has now released the name of the man that was killed in the collision on FM 400 and East County Road on Sunday. They said it's 26-year-old David Ryan Rocha of Lubbock. He was riding his Kawasaki four-wheeler when he disregarded the stop sign at the intersection, pulled in front of a Peterbilt truck that was pulling a semi, and it was...
Well, they can't stop.
Yes. And so naturally, the semi continued on its way and did what a semi truck will do in those cases.
I just, after having ridden quad for a good portion of my life, I can't see doing that. I can't see blowing through how do you...
I know.
That's just insane to me.
Well, and there's not any other information about it other than he was pronounced deceased at the scene.
That's tragic.
But those kinds of things always make me wonder, was it intentional? Not on the part of the truck, but on the part of the person on the four-wheeler who saw the semi coming and thought, and I'm just totally throwing this out there, I don't know anything about this.
No.
What if they thought this will be fast?
This will be fast, or well, I can't imagine it would be though. Because if you survive for even a little bit, it's going to be painful.
Oh, it's going to be horrible. And as someone who's worked a lot of accidents, I can tell you, even if you think it's fast, it is going to be painful.
Yeah.
You know, there's just bad things that happen in traffic crashes.
Well, it's just horrible, and my thoughts, go out to the family, because that's just tragic, but it's also preventable.
And there was another wreck up there too, because 4 people got injured and 1 person is now in custody after an Abilene Christian University bus was involved in a crash with a truck and an SUV following Saturday night's Texas Tech game. The reports came in at about 11:33 over on the Marsha Sharp and University, and according to Lubbock police, 19-year-old Parker Young was driving south on University when he disregarded traffic direction and collided with the bus. Now, the bus crashed into another vehicle in the left turn lane that was headed north. So Young is being charged with a DWI, and he was booked into the Lubbock County Detention Center.
Well, you made my heart skip a beat for a second. I had USW flashbacks for a second.
Yeah.
But I'm glad nobody was, seriously hurt in that one.
And it was a full-on bus. It wasn't a van. So that's, buses are built bigger. That's the good thing. Now, Monday he did bail out of jail, but that's what happened there. Tom in the text.
All right. This text says, when I was in Memphis, Tennessee, I was about to fuel up driving a semi. A guy approached me and said, I ran out of fuel, and could you give me just $5? I said, bro, I need $400 myself. You need to help me. And he walked away, says the text. Okay.
Classic scam.
And how long to your birthday, Tom? 360 days till my 65th birthday.
Panhandling Tom.
And Mandy, I got to thank her, though. I gave her $10 to get his lunch on his birthday on Friday. So probably the money went to give, laugh out loud, says Mandy. I used it very good. Thanks, Mandy.
Did you go to lunch?
I did.
Did you use it for lunch?
I did.
Okay.
I'm so proud of some of the gifts I got. Mandy was one of the great ones. Blake was one of the other ones. That Blake's his variant of Spider-Man that he got me, the comic book, was classic. It was great, and very, very. I'm very proud of it. And then Mandy got me some cool Star Wars stuff. She got me this little Darth Vader that it's a Bluetooth speaker, and it's very cool. And then this R2D2 water bottle. I mean, if you know me as a geek, these things are just perfect. And I got a bunch of that stuff. So thank you to the guys who did all that. That was pretty awesome.
So it was one of those Daleks. I love them in Star Trek.
Yeah. There you go again. You and your dog. Just stop. No, it's called a droid.
These birthday flashbacks being brought to us by A Custom Construction and Roofing. Roofing and insurance specialists, licensed, bonded, and insured. Locally veteran owned and operated for more than 30 years. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau for more than 30 years. They have free estimates. Call Dwayne Pinnock today. He is a veteran. 575-318-9725. A Custom Construction and Roofing urges you to be aware of unlicensed out-of-town contractors, because once they're gone, so is your warranty. And with all this rain and things, I bet people are calling for roofing with not wanting to leak. I do have to get to taking out the trash before we get to a break, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Tom, be on standby with a text, but I'm going to do taking out the trash real quick. Taking out the trash brought to us by Trash Eaters. Trash Eaters offers all your waste hauling needs, from residential trash pickup to commercial waste hauling. They offer the 96-gallon polycarts, 2- and 4-yard metal dumpsters, and roll-off containers that Tom likes so much. For all your commercial to residential waste hauling needs, call Kayleen, 575-408-1719 today. Trash Eaters is a local veteran-owned company, 575-890-4549, or trash-eaters.com. Now, press vehicles following a motorcade of Governor Tim Walz. Of course, he's the Democrat presidential nominee for Vice President Kamala Harris. They've been involved in a crash, according to a couple of reports. Now, according to Wisconsin News, press vans and a motorcade en route to Milwaukee's Summerfest, they were involved in the accident on Monday. And it doesn't appear that Walz was in any of the vehicles in the crash, but the crash involved vans carrying press and staff members who were accompanying the vice presidential nominee. Now, that's according to the outlet. Now, he was expected to speak at Milwaukee's Labor Day Fest on Monday, which he did. And a pool report update revealed that several cars in the Walz motorcade crashed at about 12:57 p.m., just a moment after the last pool report. A staff member in the press van appeared to have a broken arm and was being treated by medics on scene before being transported. And the reporter quoted, "Everyone else is shaken but appears to be okay." Now, he said, quote, "We were violently thrown forward as our van slammed into the one in front of us, and we were hit from behind." Now, here's the big thing and why I'm taking out the trash. Walz' van was there. They were following it. He didn't even stop to see what was going on. He just continued on despite the big crash right behind him. And again, I keep telling you, when these people tell you who they are, listen. He abandoned his military comrades before they were deployed. There's a crash in the motorcade of people traveling with him. He abandoned them and continued on, only thinking about himself. So, Governor Tim Walz, taking out the trash.
Who he is with his actions, right
Actions
there.
speak louder than words, baby.
Taking out the trash. Tom in the text.
All right. Good morning, guys. John Boy's chiming in. Can you give a shout out to my kiddos, Gabby and Jack, for being so awesome this morning? Well, shout out to you guys. Hope you have a great day in school. And happy birthday, Will. Very thankful to hear you on the radio. Makes my day, says another texter. That's Travis from Roswell this morning.
Thank you, Travis.
And have you heard the Yoda Redneck song on YouTube? Asked one of the texters.
I have not. I'm going to have to go search that up during the break.
The Redneck? I know the Seagulls one.
Oh, do you?
Right.
The Seagull one is good.
And where's Kevin? Trashman and Hobbs is asking this morning.
He is traveling back from Las Vegas. He spent his birthday there and went to watch his LSU Tigers lose.
Oh, yeah. Poor dude. And someone had asked about what happened at his hotel. He's going to have to tell you guys that story.
Right.
Yeah, so all the Kevin stories, we're going to let him tell.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to steal his thunder because, he's going to repeat stuff anyway. You know how he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Martin from the Patches chiming in. I've been to the Walmart Hobbs, and the only thing I know is that there's a man that looks like Tom checking the receipt. Says the texter.
Got a second job there, Tom?
No, I sure don't.
All
My
right.
back is hurting. I've seen my doctor coming up on Wednesday, right? A regular checkup. And my body just collapsed the last 2 months.
Okay.
I mean, everything started to ache. My shoulders, my arms, my legs, my stomach. And I was taking a new medication for my diabetes.
Ozempic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read some things about it on the internet. And so about 2 weeks ago, I stopped taking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to feel a whole lot better. But
Talk to your doctor
I'm
about
going
it.
to talk to my doctor about that.
We don't play doctors on the radio.
Yeah. we want to.
Former paramedic, but I'm not ever been a doctor.
So it's like, yeah. Another texter, John in Pio, says it's flooding in West Texas tonight. There's 60% chance of rain today, 40% chance of rain in that area also tomorrow. So yeah, they're getting some of the rain that we were getting.
I saw you conveniently missed one, Tom.
Which one, buddy?
So, Tom, have you gone to Sonic lately and hit the menu box and it hopes no one see you?
No, I haven't been there.
Again?
No, I didn't hit it.
Whatever, dude. Yeah,
You did
look,
once.
I did once, yeah.
You've done it more than once. You've done it at least once in every vehicle you've owned.
Were you naked when you went there?
No, half naked.
Well, here's the thing. The problem with the Sonic boxes is those menu boxes are a lot less forgiving than the metal or the concrete, barrier that is around the McDonald's drive-through. But the one that, those things, if you ever wonder, you pull up to one and it says it's out of order, probably a Tom A situation.
Oh
no.
I did tell her I hit it. Oh, she said, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. All right.
Oh,
we got to get to a break. It's 7:02. First, we're going to let you qualify for the tickets we're giving to the Cowboys-Eagle game. We're going to be taking that. Tom's going to be answering your calls here in a minute. But we got to get to news first. News being brought to you by the Ragsdale Law Firm. Are you looking for the leading accident lawyer in New Mexico? Have you been involved in an oil field accident, an automobile accident? Well, you can call Luke Ragsdale, or you can drop by his law firm at 600 North Pennsylvania in Roswell. He's had all kinds of verdicts and settlement, from a $10 million oil field wrongful death, a $9 million medical malpractice, $2.5 million oil field wrongful death, all the way down to a $650,000 slip and fall, a $385,000 trucking accident. Call Luke today, 575-208-5300. It is 7:03. We are KWMW Maljamar, also known as W105. We're going to qualify you for the Cowboys tickets on W105.
All the way.
The only thing matters is a win. That's it. However, whatever it takes.
Fires into the end zone. Touchdown!
Call in at 877-396-9105.
MTD Radio News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Get the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling, to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovart. The Federal Aviation Administration will be funding about $1.2 million for some projects at the Lee County Regional Airport in Hobbs. One FAA grant for $673,403 is for the construction costs related to installing municipal sewer service at the airport, and another $529,277 is for the reconstruction of the apron and runway. In July, the county opened bids for the construction of the sanitary sewer from the City of Hobbs sewer system along US 62-180 to the airport terminal and fire station at the airport. Entrench submitted the winning bid and the grant from the FAA for the construction of the sanitary sewer in the amount of $673,000. A motorcycle accident when he was 19 years old left Dustin Berg physically paralyzed, but it hasn't dampened his spirit for outdoor and recreation adventure. 2 years after the 2003 accident, the paraplegic forms Go Unlimited, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing disabled people with outdoor and sporting opportunities. Berg said outdoor recreation was critical in his life, and a spinal injury wasn't going to hamper his ability to hunt and fish across New Mexico's vast outdoor spaces. Therapeutic recreation, such as fishing, hunting, trekking, archery, and wheelchair basketball, are activities that Berg and his organization stress as a way for those with spinal cord injuries to stay active. Berg emphasizes fishing. He said it was one of the first outdoor activities he pursued after his injury. Wheelchair-accessible pontoon boats were used to provide fishing expeditions across New Mexico, according to the Go Unlimited website. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
In need of safety and environmental services? Are the other guys not doing their job? JBW Solutions is a veteran-owned company, and they are dedicated to proudly serving the Permian Basin with quality environmental and safety services. Their expert instructors are PEC certified in Safeland USA, H2S Clear, respiratory protection, and confined space, offering monthly training topics and safety talks, fire extinguisher inspections, DOT and non-DOT drug testing. JBW Solutions is committed to sustaining the Permian Basin's diverse habitat and natural beauty with their remediation and reclamation services, including project management, environmental tech support, soil sampling, and more. Contact JBW Solutions at 860-460-4398 and like them on Facebook.
This Eunice Cardinals Sports Update is being brought to you by Guns Up Services. Go Cardinals.
Guns Up Services LLC of Eunice, supporting the community for over 13 years, would like to wish the Cardinals another great season and also encourage everybody to show up in support of all Eunice Cardinal sports. With oil field services that range from vacuum trucks, winch trucks, dump trucks, and backhoes. They have frac tanks, caliche, downhole chemicals, saltwater disposal, and freshwater sales. That's Guns Up Services, LLC, helping to keep our oil field trucking. 2403 Avenue O, Eunice, or call at 575-399-2457. Go Cardinals!
Blake Ovard here with MTD Radio News. We're talking to Eunice head coach Greg Jackson. Coach, you had another big win this week. What are you most proud of with your team?
I think that they're just starting to really come together as one unit. We have a collection of extremely talented young men, but to play football the way that it needs to be played requires everybody to be on the same page.
Is there one thing that stands out about this team this year?
Most aggressive team that we've had in my time at Eunice. I mean, we've had good linemen, we've had good skill guys, but as far as just the overall raw aggression, this team is really, they stand out in that department.
Very good. And you're 2-0 now. You can't go 3-0 without being 2-0, and you take that to NMMI this week.
This Eunice Cardinals Sports Update has been brought to you by Guns Up Services, 2403 Avenue O in Eunice, proudly serving the community for over 13 years. Go Cardinals.
I want to wake America up.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
I got to keep wearing it, but don't tell them I didn't have it on when I walked in.
7:08 right here on W105. It is B and the Breakfast Club. Let's see. Let's check in with some weather here real quick. Weather we're going to be brought to you this morning by Rig Outfitters and Home Store located in the Broadmoor Mall. Extensive collection of FR jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts, and coats, and other oil field gear like hard hats, work boots, steel toe boots, and safety gear. Furniture, appliances, electronics, zero down financing available. And I know that Joe just added a bunch of more boots to his $99 boot area. And there are some really nice selections over there. You definitely want to get in there and check that out. Also, Scrub Outfitters, located next to Rig Outfitters in Broadmoor Mall. The largest selection of medical scrubs for more than 100 miles. Your favorite scrub brands like Dickies, Healing Hands, Megacure, and Peaches. In addition to scrubs, they carry shoes, medical equipment, compression stocks, and more. Check them out on Facebook today. Looks like 20 to 30% chance of isolated storms off and on all day in southeast New Mexico. Tonight it's going to be partly cloudy with a little chance of some morning showers going into Thursday, but then the rain moves out and we are looking at the temperatures heating up, which should make Tom happy because he doesn't like the colder temperatures for some reason.
No, because I got to put on my space heater.
One of our texters, Mama Bear, as a matter of fact, said, "Good morning, guys. Loving the cooler weather. God bless America."
I'm with you, Mama Bear. I've been loving it all week.
Well, we've got several comments on Facebook. And of course, a lot of good mornings, a lot of happy birthdays. Thank you to the guys for that. But Abel had commented, and he said, "I think everyone should ask for their mail-in ballot this year, but go up there and vote in person. But if they say you already voted, call the sheriff's office and tell them what's going on. Then they have to investigate. They will make sure that only people that have their live vote, or we say that live, yeah, I'm sure it says live their vote.
Yeah.
And Americans are voting, so, or that are alive, I'm sure is what he meant.
Right.
5 or more will become a lawsuit. So if that happens,
Wow.
I mean, that's a way to just ensure. I mean, if you request your mail-in ballot, even if you don't, plan on using it.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
No, it's not. And I appreciate that, Abel, on Facebook for giving that question or comment.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, 7-Eleven. Joey Chestnut. Do you know who that is?
The hot dog guy.
Tom knows him. Bingo. Well, he smoked Kobayashi in the hot dog eating contest.
Had another one?
Yeah, they went head-to-head for the first time since 2009 in a Netflix special that you can see online.
Oh, okay.
Chestnut versus Kobayashi Unfinished Beef.
Is that his real name?
Which one?
Kobayashi.
That's his last name, yeah. Takaru is his first name. He is Japanese.
Because isn't the Kobayashi Maru like a Star Trek thing?
It is. But,
okay, just make sure.
But Kobayashi is a lot like, I don't want to say Smith or Jones, but it's like Jackson.
Gotcha.
In Japan.
Gotcha.
Now there was little question who was going to win because Joey was way beyond Kobayashi when it comes to stuffing down those weenies. Anyway, he did it by eating 83 to Kobayashi's 66.
Good God.
In 10 minutes. Now, that actually beat Chestnut's record. He had a record of 76, and so he went 83.
Wow.
Now, he took home a $100,000 prize, but, if your belly's aching, that's not going to be that easy to really.
I wonder if he purges after he's done.
Man, I don't know, but you would think, right? Like, how can you hold that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a couple of hot dogs. That does it in for me. Now, when I was younger, I
couldn't even eat half of one.
Right. But before your surgery, how many really, people don't eat as many. A couple,
three?
Yeah.
At the most?
Right.
Yeah.
And a normal person, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of the limit. No matter who you are, unless you're doing something like that. When you think about it, you think, oh, no, I could eat a half dozen or a dozen or a whole package. Well, could you really? I mean, maybe, but not with buns and everything.
Ketchup and stuff where you put on it, right?
Whatever you put on it.
Yeah.
And in Albuquerque, bringing life to downtown Albuquerque and increasing safety. Well, that's a new goal for the Albuquerque City Council. And they want to crack down on vacant buildings. Because, vacant buildings are the problem with being mugged and murdered and your vehicle stolen, right? So they are looking to fine property owners for having their building if it's vacant. Now, kind of because part of that sits on Route 66 and they want to make sure that all the buildings are there, but this doesn't really address the elephant in the room, right? If you blame it on empty building owners, don't they already have code in place that fines them for anything that goes on like that? But anyway, Albuquerque is looking to crack down and really go after the hard crime, people who own property. Yeah. So if you own a building in Albuquerque and it's vacant, you probably want to pay attention to that. And the headline on this was something that caught my attention. It said, did a leaked memo confirm that advertisers are listening to our conversations? Now, what do you think, Tom? Do you think
you're right?
Where do they listen?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Your phones, your Alexas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're totally listening.
Yeah. So have you ever said anything like, I wonder if they make a bacon-scented air freshener. Tom, you ever said that?
No.
No. And then, like, if your phone all of a sudden showed bacon-scented air fresheners.
I've seen those pop-ups.
Yeah, there you go. They are listening. The big companies like Google and Amazon, they deny that that's happening. But other companies, and it was the site 404 Media just published a leaked memo from a large marketing company where they bragged to clients about a feature called active listening. And it's not the first time they've been exposed for it. Cox Media Group actually bragged about it last year on their website. Now, they took that page down after people freaked out, but they're still bragging about it when they pitch it to potential clients. Now, it doesn't say exactly how they're listening. Google, Facebook, Amazon all say they're not involved, and Google said they've dropped the company from their ad partners program. So maybe it was Google, and Google just doesn't like them blowing the whistle, right? Tom, any text?
All right. This text saying, I can knock back 7 Winter Schnitzel chili cheese dogs with no problem, says the texter. And I'm not a big guy.
There you go. Because that part's important. Because, I mean, there's big guys out there. I know little guys that can, and the fact that we've got a couple one that works for us that I'm not going to mention names, but there's a couple of people that work for us that are not big that can eat the rest of us big guys out of, under the table big time.
Right.
I've been to a couple places and I'm just like, holy cow, dude, where do you put all that?
Well, and I'm just saying, because hot dogs, being the process that they are, they will let you know later.
Yes, they will. Right. Well, especially something like a Wiener Schnitzel chili cheese dog, because those are worse than others.
Yeah. Continue. Tom.
Hey, great show, guys, this morning. The texter saying thanks for tuning in, by the way. Happy birthday to everyone, says another texter. Thank you very much. And another texter says, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I think that's...
Yeah, you can skip that one.
I can skip that. Okay. I celebrated pretty hard, much on my Labor Day, says the texter. Slept all day, worked over 28 hours straight. So he kind of...
Well, I'm glad you got some rest to take up after working that long.
Yeah.
No doubt. Thank you for all you do. Everybody that goes to work every single day, I don't care what industry you're in, I am thankful that you go to work every day.
Amen to that.
I am thankful that you get up and you participate and you, whoever you are, whatever you do, if you're going to work every day or you're doing the best you can every day, I am thankful that you're here. And you're doing your thing. I really am.
I have 2 alarms in my house, in my bus.
Okay.
One of them didn't work, and then my phone alarm, it works, but it wasn't charging my phone. So I thought, I got to make sure I get up at 4:30.
Okay.
And so my phone said 68% charged.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to Suri. I said, Suri, what does that mean? How many hours do I have on my charge? She said, I can't understand that. So, luckily, I got up at 4:30. My body told me to get up.
Boy, the places we go when we let Tom A talk.
So I got here at work.
Why doesn't Tom A talk more? That's why.
And this Tom A Sideways story being brought to you by Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without them. You don't have to worry about charging your phone out there. Serving all of Southeast New Mexico with the largest inventory of new and pre-owned RVs, including Keystone and Cougar, just to name a few. Fifth Wheels, Toy Haulers, ultralight trailers. If you are working in the patch and living in a hotel, do yourself a favor. Take that per diem, put it to work for you so that when you're done, you own the trailer. You won't wonder where that money went. Main Trailer Sales has been serving New Mexico for more than 65 years. That means they got great customer service and they will help you find the trailer that you want. You can check their website, maintrailersalesinc.com, or you can call 575-622-1751. Their customer service is guaranteed. That's Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without them. Tom, any more texts?
No, not any new ones lately.
All right.
We're waiting on a new ones.
Well, German-based Volkswagen is considering closing plants in its home country as automakers in the European Union grapple with a flood of cheap China-made cars that are increasingly making up a share of auto sales on the European continent.
Wow.
The VW plant closure in Germany would be the first time the automaker closed a plant in Germany, and the first time it closed a plant worldwide since closing the one in Pennsylvania in 1988. The move would come as Chinese automakers offer highly subsidized cars, sometimes made with slave labor, growing their market share across Europe, and that triggering the EU to impose temporary tariffs on China-made electric vehicles. Now, that's kind of interesting because the Democrats here are saying you can't put tariffs on Chinese stuff. That's our buddies. You know, Tim Walz had his, he worked in China for a long time teaching Chinese kids, and they had their honeymoon in China, and he's really good friends with all the people that are high up in the Chinese Communist government. You can't do that. Well, look at what they're doing to Europe. The Chinese automakers scored a record 11% of the EU market in June of this year. Now, that was an analysis published in May, and it says that the Chinese-made EVs will account for more than 1/4 of all the EVs in Europe by the end of the year. Wow. What do you think about that, Tom?
I don't like it.
Will, would you like to expound on that?
Yeah. Can I top that? I don't think so.
Yeah. So, but what does that mean for us? What does it mean for us here in America? We, there's things that we're way ahead of Europe on, but there's a lot of policy things and governmental things that happen in Europe a couple years before we start seeing them really surface here in America. Well, the Chinese, right? Xi Jinping, and to a different part, Russia, and I'll get to that in a minute. But they see the weakness that is in the American government right now. So they're floating all this in Europe, and they're going, now is the time. Right? Especially because Donald Trump is saying, we're going to put a lot of tariffs on Chinese goods, and they're our enemy, right? We don't need to be treating them like our best friend, like Tim Walz wants to do, right? But in Europe, the first time ever VW is closing a plant in Germany. First time ever. And it's happening because they don't have high enough tariffs. And so what are they doing? They're putting tariffs on these Chinese automakers to help slow the takeover of their country. Right? And it's just crazy. And
what do you make of all the Democrats out there saying that the tariffs are going to, I mean, they're adamant about it, that they're going to increase the taxes on the middle class.
But they're not.
No, of course not. It's just stupid. And the fact that these dang reporters can continue to push that narrative, seriously, it's like, do people not understand what that's even doing?
No, they don't. They don't. But you got to remember, the mainstream media is bought and paid for by these political groups.
Right.
Like whether it's through their company's advertising or it's just flat out, they bought them off. Right. George Soros has the kind of money he can just buy people off.
It's just frustrating that they can lie and continue, and so many people believe it, I guess, is what's really frustrating.
Well, we're brought up to believe the news, right? Like you and I and Tom, and we were brought up with like Walter Cronkite, this classic, right? He was pretty much down the middle on most everything. He was a liberal guy, but he was pretty much, he was a classic liberal guy.
Well, but there again, he would report the news. And that's something that's lost in nowadays.
Yes. Now most news is opinion. And the fact that you have these quote unquote reporters like Dana Bash on CNN, like openly challenging and arguing with the people that they're interviewing, right? They're not trying to get you the story. They're trying to get their point across.
Right.
Well, that's for the show after the show. That's for the people to argue about that, have different points of view. You interview someone and you hear what they have to say. And then if you want to pick it apart later, that's for a different time.
Right. And that's where shows like Meet the Press and all that eventually came around, because those were the talking heads of their opinion. Right. But if you don't wake up and you don't go to the polls, you will see that you no longer have something to go to for a job. Or if you do, they are taking 90% of your income to give to their buddies in the Communist Party.
Well, and what's frustrating to me is that every year we say it's so important to vote, and it seems like certain years, like last year, that people just didn't. And after the steal in 2020, for people to just we didn't have mail-in voting during the primaries, and during the last congressional election. Why didn't people go out? I don't understand it.
Yeah, they don't trust they don't trust the system anymore.
Well, but okay,
but
you can say that. You can say that I don't trust it, but you're just guaranteeing if you don't go, then there's no option.
Right.
Then you're just handing it to the other guys.
Right.
So I mean, you might as well just vote Democrat then.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people upset about Trump losing 4 years ago.
Well, look, and I'm going to speak to
the election.
I'm going to speak to people who maybe don't like Trump. Okay. I don't like him personally. Right. I'm not, I have a lot of friends in New York, but he is typical of the rough and tough New Yorker.
Sure.
Right.
Well, he grew up there.
He and Chuck Schumer personalities are very much alike. Right. Except for Trump has a kind heart. There's a difference there, but he's just gruff and rough and typical New Yorker. So that's what people typically don't like about Donald Trump is that personality trait. I don't particularly like that personality trait, but I think in this case in particular, you have to vote for Donald Trump, even if you don't like him, because if you don't, you will not have a country you recognize anymore. Like you said, Will, we always say this is the most important election. I think the stark contrast and differences between the direction the country is going and where it was are so on display right now. You have an avowed Marxist, and make no mistake, she is a Marxist. Everything she has ever said says that she's a Marxist. And she even said, when people tell you who they are, believe them, right? And she wasn't the first one to say it, but she copied that like she copies everything else. She's changing her stances for an election. She is not changing her beliefs. Donald Trump's not changing his beliefs either. He wants to have a great country. And if you look at who he is behind the scenes, not just the brash personality, the over the top, but look at what he does. He personally will call people. He personally will help people. He will go to those lengths. And that is who he is. He wants the country to be better. If you were here, hopefully, during his presidency, you know that. Look at the difference. How much did you pay for a tank of gas when he was president?
Not $3.29, that's for sure.
Okay, but now it was half of that, right? Yeah. It was just under $2 a gallon. And now this is we have 20% plus inflation. Now they will tell you, oh, it's only 2% inflation right now. Let me break it down for you. If I had a little chart and I could show you the chart, right? The part they're talking about when they talk about, oh, we only have 2% inflation right now, that's over the last little measurement. That is not overall, right? That's just gone up from the last time it went up. Like
that's the political answer from the left.
Right.
Yes.
When they're trying to minimize stuff.
Yes. But overall, since Harris and Biden took office, we have more than 20% inflation. You can't just measure that last little measurement. I know that's how they spin it always. Well, we are, but
the spin zone, you're right.
Yeah. So, and I do have a phone call. So let's go to the phones. Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mad Dog.
Hey, Mad Dog, good morning.
Good morning, Mad Dog.
Hold on, I'm breaking the law. I don't have my seatbelt on. I called earlier, and I got dropped after 14 minutes. Is that what is the protocol? How do you know when to call that you might get on in a?
I was in the middle of a rant, Mad Dog, and then I had to go take a break, and that's what happened.
Oh, okay. So you dropped it? Wasn't Tom?
No, that was me. That was me. That was me.
Okay, cool. I just sometimes wish I knew what's the right time to call in.
I don't know that there really isn't.
It's about
it's
time.
One of those,
well,
it's one of those things, Mad Dog. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a.
It's no big deal. And good to hear you out there, Will. Hope you're feeling pretty good.
Thank you, buddy.
And I've already forgot what I was going to say, other than Tom A. You're so full of it that your freaking eyes are brown, and I don't even know what color your eyes are. But,
They're brown.
So that was one part that I wanted to get out, and then the other one was last week when I got on, and one of them. I'm assuming that it was a liberal that said, "Could we put a muzzle on Mad Dog?" I love it. I love it when those people do that because I've struck a chord with them, I feel like.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. And the more that they say it, the more that I'm likely to call in.
Right on.
So you liberals that don't like me calling in, as my dad used to say, I'm Ragsdale trained, and I'm past the point of keeping my mouth shut. So just get used to it and go pound sand. How about that?
The most people that scream about free speech, they're the ones that want to limit it. You know?
I guarantee you y'all are right about this election but I just don't think, you see these people that stand in the crowd behind Kamala Harris, and they look like normal people, but they can't be normal. Are those AI and robots or what? Because how could anybody be stupid enough to want 4 more years of what we just are going through?
Well,
how could you want that?
Just like when they landed the plane and they filled in the crowd that was AI, they can do that to a crowd behind her as well.
They've got some that are not real, but there are enough people, Mad Dog, out there, and because I've got friends and family members, people that I love and have respect for in so many other ways. We just can't talk politics but I just bang my head against the wall. How can someone so smart be so stupid to think that this is the way to go?
Yeah, I know, and I'm with you because there's a lot of them walking around the streets of Hobbs, New Mexico, and apparently that listen to this radio that are liberals, and that's another thing.
We want them to listen.
I heard one guy the other day that actually got on there and spoke to y'all, and y'all had a dialogue with him, and I felt like y'all made a pretty good point that you're not really seeing the big picture, dude. But whether that will cut out to a vote or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And being a talk show like this, Mad Dog, whenever I can get an opposing view, I always like to take those calls because I think that that really shows people where the issues are and who is believing what.
Yeah.
And sometimes it brings up
difference.
Sometimes it brings up points that we can't get to otherwise.
Yeah. Hey, y'all have a great day. I got to go.
All right.
I got to go burn some debris out north of town. So if y'all hear fire trucks heading north of town, it might be me. Talk to you later.
Be safe. Be safe. All right. Thanks, Mad Dog.
So, hey, before we go any further, so I had, and this is something that gave me a little bit of hope. I had this person who's a Trump hater, who's a close friend, family member.
No, not that one.
What now?
He can't figure out which button to push. The one that the ones your headphone are in.
Yeah, I was coughing.
Your left hand.
Follow the mic arm back to where it sits.
Yes, I see it
and
now.
that's the button you push. So this meme text opinion came from them. We have an employee that we hired 3.5 years ago. She was given tasks but completed none of them. She just had a performance review and failed it. So she backstabbed her elderly supervisor. Now she's demanding a promotion in November but refuses to interview for the new position. She promises that if she gets that promotion, she will do all the tasks she didn't do before, but she won't do them now in order to force us to give her the promotion. What should we do? Sincerely, the USA. And so, of course, if you didn't notice, talking about Kamala Harris, that was from
spot on.
That was from someone who is a Trump hater. I mean, hate, but they can see.
Right.
But I have to give them credit though. They're common sense, but they've hated Trump from a long time. And I have friends that are like this that hated Trump when he was on The Apprentice. They just despised the man.
Right.
But just because of the way, like Blake said earlier, and there's a lot of us who don't like some of us have grown to like it, like me. I've kind of grown to like it the way he is because I like the no nonsense, in your face, just tell you how it is, even if it's wrong. Because there's times where he's been wrong, and I'm just like, well, at least you know where he stands. Because the liberals will lie to your face,
right? And they will. That's the thing. and they're proud to do it. As we played the cuts earlier, Kamala Harris, she doesn't care if she lies to you. It's kind of like, we were talking last week about, I had talked to a friend of mine who's a Muslim. We were talking about the Quran. And in the Quran, it says that it's okay to lie to the infidel to get what you want. So I see where they line up together, because the Democrat Party, because it has been taken over by Marxists, let's not beat around the bush, they think it's okay to lie to anyone in order to get into a position of power and then have power over you. And so they don't care if they lie to you. They don't care, because it doesn't affect them. It affects you, and they don't care about you.
No, in fact, they actively, and they want what's worst for you because they think that their way is better.
Right. And they do want a class system. They want to do away with the middle class. The current Democrat Party, and I'm sorry for any moderate Democrats who are still hanging on and hoping for the better part of their party. And I know several of them. Right. And they're hoping that their party swings back to being the party of the people, because the Republican Party is now the party of the people. But that's not going to happen, because it's been taken over by radicals, radical leftists. And they don't want a middle class. They only want an upper class, which is their elites, right? So the political leaders and the super rich, they want all them. And then they want all the serfs. They want everybody underneath them to be low class, only being able to get what they want them to have. And that's why she believes in equity. And when I say she, I mean Kamala Harris. That's why she speaks about equity. She wants an equal outcome for everyone that's below the elitist class. So if you're middle class, she wants you to be low class and barely getting by in the job that they assign to you. Like, don't think that won't happen.
Well, those folks are easier to control.
Yes. And so if you are an American, born, bred, got here, became a citizen, however you did it, and you believe in the American dream, I don't see how you can, with a clear conscience, support the Marxist Democrat Party. I just don't. And I would make that allegation against some Republicans, but you can't control people. You can't support people who want control over your life. Right. And you say, well, it's really good that they control this other thing. Well, if they control the other thing, they control you.
They'll control you eventually. Yeah.
Right. So, Tom in the text.
All right. My other side of the family, says this text, are from New York, and I love them, says the texter. But definitely are a raw bunch. I mean, I noticed they are just like us in New Mexico. Most of them are Republicans stuck in the state swarm with illegal immigrants in the cities and pushing communism on our country, says the text. And I think this text is talking about Mad Dog. That guy doesn't do anything but watch Fox News all day, says the text. Another one says, there was a Dirty Dave here, and it's been a while since I've called in, says the texter, says Dave. Trump has always had my vote. Amen to that.
There you go. And I get it. I mean, his policies are good, like sound. If you look at his policies and you take his personality out of it, most everyone would vote for that, giving the policy difference between him and Harris. Like, if you had no names on it and you just said candidate A and candidate B, candidate A, here are their policies. Candidate B, here are their policies. It would be an overwhelming landslide like Reagan had that would vote for Trump. But because the national news media spends their time trying to beat Trump down, people start to believe it. Just like the caller that Mad Dog was talking about. Kevin looked it up. He said that Trump said these things about his daughter. Turns out it wasn't. It was Howard Stern who said that, who was leading the interview. So they just start believing these narratives about somebody instead of actually looking it up themselves. So, but I got to tell you about North Star Laundry right now. Let North Star Laundry be your one-stop shop for all your laundry needs, because they can clean up the dirty stuff. North Star now offers dry cleaning, pressing, and starching You can walk in and use their coin laundry, available in both regular and oil field, or Tom, you can let them take care of the washing and folding for you.
There you go.
You might want to think about that. Open for your convenience. North Star Laundry located in Carlsbad at 609 West Lee and at 604 West Church, and in Loving at 406 West Cedar. That is North Star Laundry. Odessa Fire and Rescue was called to multiple tractor and trailer fires early Saturday morning. Now, we haven't talked since over the weekend, so these are some of the stories I need to bring back up. According to the city of Odessa, crews were called about 12:53 a.m. to the 2600 block of Carway Road. Firefighters saw 4 tractor trailers on fire, with a 5th one starting to ignite. They got out there and they were able to extinguish the fire. And the city said that all of the trucks were unoccupied at the time of the incident. And the city of Odessa says it's important to know fire safety tips for tractor trailer drivers and anyone around them. And that includes things for your vehicle as well, including regular maintenance, removing debris from around the engine, having a fire extinguisher, etc. And a transgender athlete. We talked about this one in the Paralympics. Do you remember this, Tom?
No.
It's a blind guy, and he was running, right? Well, he's a runner. He failed to qualify in the 400-meter sprint in the women's T12 category after placing 3rd in the semifinal. So Valentina Petrillo, biological male, qualified for the semifinals at the Paris Paralympics with a time of 58.35 seconds in the first round. However, during the semifinals, he had a time of 57.58 and came in 3rd. An Iranian Paralympic athlete finished with a time of 56.07, and a Venezuelan Paralympic athlete, both real women, finished with a 56.34. Now, the transgender guy began running when he was younger, but upon finding out he had Stargardt disease at 14, he stopped, and it wasn't until he was 41 that he figured out that he could switch genders and begin competing in the Paralympics.
Of course.
Now, Stargardt disease, for those that don't know, is a slow loss of central vision in both eyes, as well as gray, black, or hazy spots in the center of your vision, and sensitivity to light and color blindness.
So how can he see who he is now?
They have beepers on the track. But it doesn't matter because only the real women will be competing in the Paralympics.
Yeah.
In the finals. So there you go. And 2 American service members were attacked by a mob of young Turkish nationals in the western city of Izmir on Monday as a crowd of onlookers chanted anti-American slogans, like death to America. The American personnel are reportedly safe, and the Turkish police have arrested 15 of the assailants. The assault appeared to be an attempted kidnapping, and as the mob threw a sack over the head of one American sailor, the others tried to defend him. Now, it was reported it was thwarted when 5 other U.S. soldiers stepped in, and then the Turkish police got involved. So our military personnel are being targeted not only for just attack, but they were trying to kidnap them as well, because they saw that the Biden administration will pay millions of dollars for hostages. And if our troops aren't safe, if you got a trip to the Middle East planned, I would be very careful. Yeah. I would hire security. What do you think about
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go?
No.
But you don't even have a passport.
I got one.
Have you ever been out of the country that you had to use your passport?
I was going to go to Germany last year.
Have you been out of the country, Kamala Harris?
I've been to Puerto Rico.
I rest my case.
Oh.
So Richie from Carlsbad sent in a cool article, and he wanted Blake, you or I to read it. But it says, beware the useful idiots. Recall that Hillary did her college thesis on his writings, and Obama writes about him in his books. Saul Alinsky died over 50 years ago, but his writings influenced those in political control of our nation today.
Yes.
Rules for Radicals is one of his books. Rules for Radicals. Anyone out there thinking this stuff isn't happening today in the U.S., all 8 rules are currently in play. How to Create a Social State by Saul Alinsky. Here are the 8 levels. Be ready, because this is like the Democrat playbook. Healthcare, control healthcare and you control the people. Poverty, increase the poverty level as high as possible. Debt, increase the debt to an unsustainable level. Gun control, remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. Welfare, take control of every aspect of their lives. Education, take control of what people read to and listen to. And religion, remove the belief in God from the government and schools. That's number 7. And number 8 is class warfare. Divide the people into wealthy and poor, and obviously into race. This will cause more discontent and will be easier to tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. Does it sound familiar? Sound like what is happening? Alinsky merely simplified Vladimir Lenin's original scheme for world conquest by communism under Russian rule. Stalin described it, his converts, as useful idiots. The useful idiots have destroyed every nation in which they've seized power and control. It is presently happening at an alarming rate in the U.S. It is difficult to free fools from the chains that they revere or that they put on themselves.
100%.
Yeah. No, it's scary. And Richie, thank you for the article. And sorry for those who let me read that book, but there you go.
Yeah, it's as conservatives, we're usually busy. Conservatives, libertarian, whatever you fall into, we're usually busy just trying to live our lives, right? We want to do our jobs, take care of our families, live our lives. Marxists, socialists, fascists, all kind of one group, just varying degrees. They all want to control everyone else's life. Now, if you read conservatives, we don't read those kinds of things. We don't study those kinds of things. We don't go to college to become a neighborhood organizer. Neighborhood organizers almost always are super far left, and they read things like the Rules for Radical, the Communist Manifesto, all those things. And they are all very similar, and they all outline a plan. And these Marxist, socialist, fascists who are in control of the Democrat Party have all studied it backwards and forwards, and they know the rules backwards and forwards, and they are implementing them.
Well, you know, when Roe versus Wade came along in 72, before it was decided by the Supreme Court, conservatives did not take that seriously. That's not going to happen in this country. We're not going to kill babies. They weren't educated in that because the left did their homework, and they went out and pushed it.
They specifically targeted a person,
right?
And they got her case to go. Yes.
So now we're crying about it, and what can we do about it now, right?
Well, and the funny thing is, and I'm going to go off on this tangent with you for a second. Planned Parenthood was started as a eugenics program. They started it to limit the number of minority babies that were being born. That's what Planned Parenthood was, and to a large part, what it still is. If you look at the number.
Yeah, well, it's scary. Planned Parenthood, a lot of the programs that came about with the welfare programs that came about in the days of LBJ and things like that, they were meant to lessen the impact of minorities.
Yes. But Planned Parenthood in particular, that was a eugenics program. The abortion program was eugenics, mostly targeted at black people, but also other minorities. So if you want to talk about a racist organization,
that's it.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, we're getting some deep stuff here on a Tuesday, guys. The Midland Fire Department responded to nearly 30 water rescues in 6 hours over the weekend.
Flash flooding, yeah.
Because the flooding?
For
Good
flooding.
night.
Yeah. And so it only received 1.6 inches of rain on Friday and has continued to receive more over the weekend. But they've been dealing with flash flooding over there. We've had some of it here, but not anything to that extent that I know of.
We got a flash flood watch here in Hobbs, but, of course, anytime it's raining in Ruidoso, everybody's like batting down the hatches and getting away from the lowlands,
right?
Because it's no joke up there.
No, and rightfully so, right? I mean, because if it's raining up in the burn scar, you might have not hardly any down where you are, but it's gonna come down. And so if you're in the Ruidoso area or anywhere there's a burn scar, you need to pay attention to the rain because it can get up on you quick. That's why it's called flash flood.
Yep.
So the mayor, Thompson, a small town in Georgia, has been indicted on charges that he illegally left a bottle of gin in a ditch for a state prison work crew. I don't have any other details than that. I just thought it was interesting. Leah Remini, don't know who that is, and her husband, Angelo Pagan, are filing for divorce after 21 years. Tom, who are they?
What is she? The actress in Queens of Queens.
I don't know.
You mean King of Queens?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't it her?
Don't know.
Huh.
Rapper, this is sad. Rapper and hype man, Fat Man Scoop, is dead at the age of 53.
That man.
What do you know of him, Tom?
Nothing.
Okay, just checking.
You know what? Tom is right.
Yeah.
That is exactly who that is.
Is it
Leah
really?
Remini? Yeah, she's she played the wife on King of Queens.
Right.
Wow.
Bring the bell.
I can't get to it. If you'd like to buy Jeremy Renner's house, 9,000 square foot Hollywood Hills home, that could be yours for a cool $13 million. He's another one of these actors that is abandoning California.
Well,
because they're too woke, and he doesn't like all of his money being taken away. And at the London premiere of the new Beetlejuice movie, Jenna Ortega attended. Of course, you might know her from Wednesday. That was kind of her big breakout.
Never heard of her.
What do you mean never? Okay, get out of here.
What?
I never heard of her.
Jenna Ortega, she's everywhere.
She is.
You can even go buy Wednesday cereal right now. Go to the grocery store and look for Wednesday cereal.
Was she on the Hallmark movies or anything?
Anyway,
moving on.
She was carrying a purse in the shape of the Beetlejuice house, which was kind of cool. And you should get ready to say goodbye to Capri Sun boxes and pouches. They're going to switch over to their plastic bottles instead. Speaking of those grocery things, I want to tell you about Finn's Country Market there in Artesia. They got a lot of great sales still for Labor Day weekend. You can still get in there and get them today. They got beef bologna for $4.99 a pound. Hickory smoked turkey breast, $6.99 a pound. That's one of my favorites. Black Forest ham, $5.49 a pound. They got seedless green grapes at $1.99 a pound. Dole coleslaw, only 97 cents a bag. They've got their mini cucumbers, a 1 pound bag for $2.99. The super select cucumbers are 2 for $1. And their Roma tomatoes, only $1.99 a pound. Get into Finn's Country Market there in Artesia today to take care of, get all of those special Labor Day sales that they got going on. And if you stock up, right? I mean, that's the time to do it. We still got to get to this day in history. I just realized how close to the top of the hour we were, so we can do this day in history and the national anthem and the pledge. This day in history being brought to you by 2A Tactical Firearms and Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs, veteran owned and the largest firearms dealer around. A state-of-the-art indoor shooting range with the Milo FBI training simulator, where you can shoot live fire or a laser with more than 1,000 different scenarios. Now, Kevin's setting up the date, so when he gets back, I'm sure he'll have the date. We'll all be going up there, and we will let y'all know, so y'all can come along and rent out the other firing lanes, or just watch Tom die a lot, whatever you want to do. They have monthly memberships, and they have hourly rates available. They also have lots of ammo in stock and a large selection of optics, all types of firearm accessories, including safes, tactical gear, runt-style brand clothing. Ask them about financing. If you wanted to buy a gun but you don't think you have the cash, they can finance it for you. Tom, they also have firearm safety training available, one-on-one or in a group, whatever suits you best. 2A Tactical Firearms and Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo, Suite 1200 in Hobbs, or online at 2atacticalrange.com. So on this day in 1783, the Treaty of Paris officially ended the Revolutionary War. In 1935, an automobile went faster than 300 miles an hour for the very first time.
Wow.
1935. Now, it doesn't tell me what type that was. I think it was a Mercedes, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go look that up. On this date in 1940, let me back up. One of our racing fans can probably tell me. So if anybody wants to text in what that car was in 1935, that would be pretty cool. On this date, 1940, high-def color TV was seen for the first time. Yeah, you didn't think they did that back then, did you? You thought it was all black and white. And I really want to know is, if it really happened in 1940, why did TVs in my house stay black and white for the next 30 years?
Right.
On this date, 1942, Frank Sinatra announced he was leaving the Tommy Dorsey Band to begin a singing solo career. Yep, he did it. He just left the band and said, I'm on my own, and oh, Blue Eyes, probably better off for it. In 1951, the television soap opera Search for Tomorrow debuted on CBS.
Good show.
Yeah, ironically, they never found it. On this date, 1967, the TV show What's My Line ended after 17 years when someone finally pointed out, that's your line. And in 1970, a hailstone measuring 17.5 inches in diameter landed in Kansas.
That's crazy because every one of those, I don't have a single one of those. I have a bunch of other ones.
What you got?
Well, it's crazy. So 54 years ago in 1970, legendary football coach Vince Lombardi died in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
On this day. 40 years ago in 84, Iron Maiden released their 5th album, Power Slave.
That's a good album. That's a good album.
It is a good album. 32 years ago in 92, Prince became the highest paid rock star after signing a $100 million deal with Warner Brothers.
Whoa. And then changed his name to a symbol.
Yeah. And then in 1995, the ashamed Hispanic, that is Charlie Sheen, married one Donna Peel on his 30th birthday. Sadly, the trick for remembering his anniversary didn't pay off, and the unhappy Mr. and Mrs. were divorced just a few months later. So after their anniversary, because he forgot it.
Wow.
I'm guessing. So, but 29 years ago in 1995, eBay was founded by a guy named Pierre something or other. I can't pronounce it.
He was selling
because his
Beanie
fiance
Babies.
couldn't find a Pez dispenser to complete her collection, so he created eBay. That was the reason.
I was thinking it was Beanie Babies.
you would think, right?
Yeah.
So just a couple more of those, and I know we've got birthdays to get to.
Yeah. All right. So today is U.S. Bowling League Day, National Welsh Rabbit Day, National Telephone Day, and National Another Look Unlimited Day. I still don't know what that is. All right. So happy birthdays today. Snowboarder Shaun White and Nina Dobrev's. That's Nina Dobrev's boyfriend. I don't even know who Nina is.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Why did they even put that in there? He's 38 today. I sure thought he would be older by now.
Well, I know who Shaun White is. I don't know who Nina is, but
I don't. Yeah, I'm like, why did they put that in there? That threw me. Back in the day, of course, he trained with his own personal half pipe built by Red Bull on Silverton Mountain in Colorado. Charlie Sheen is nothing short of a miracle, turning 59 today. Yeah, I can't explain it either. Anyway, he won't celebrate any differently than he does every other day, I'm sure. Todd Lewis is 59 today. Tom, do you know who he is?
Never heard of him.
He is the singer for the Toadies. Like, can you name probably their biggest hit? No, you can't.
It's not happening.
No. Do you know it, Will?
Possum Kingdom.
That is correct. Steve Jones. That's kind of a generic name, but it really is his name. 69 years old today. He was the Sex Pistols guitarist. I think he's one of the last living members of the Sex Pistols, actually. Don Brewer is 76. I want Tom to take a swing at this one.
Never heard of him.
Grand Funk Railroad drummer. Can you name a Grand Funk song?
The Train.
No. How about of course, because it has something to do with the railroad. How about We're an American Band, Tom?
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And Al Jardine, still singing with the Beach Boys, turns 82 today. He can still wax his own board. How does he keep going? Well, God only knows. Okay, I fell flat. All right, Will, you got any more?
Yeah, OMI, the singer of the cheerleader song from our friends over on B107. He's 38 today. And then his real name is Omar Paisley, by the way. And Rita Folk, the not so fake lesbian Amy on MTV's Faking It, she's 34.
Oh, and happy birthday to you if it is your birthday. Today is my son's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Bob, out there. And anyone else, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Got to get to the national anthem and the pledge and the Lord's Prayer. National anthem and the pledge being brought to you by Rebecca Long. When it comes to protecting your home, auto, boats, RTVs, RVs, commercial, or life insurance, call Rebecca Long. Rebecca started her business at the age of 19, and she's still helping people 40 years later. Yeah, stop by 226 West Vega in Hobbs, or you can call Rebecca at 575-393-2661, 575-393-2661. Rebecca Long is your farmer's insurance agent and can customize and bundle coverage options. Talk with Farmers Insurance agent Rebecca Long today so you can decide if your coverage is ready for whatever it is that may come your way. Again, Rebecca's number is 575-393-2661. Proud sponsor of the National Anthem and the Pledge.
We are the Perry family from Hobbs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The tiny but mighty 7-year-old singer from Los Angeles, Malaya Emma Chandragwijaya.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
God bless America. God bless you. The Lord's Prayer being brought to us by Judah Oil. Judah Oil would like to remind everyone to remain positive during these times and always keep your family first and focus on those things that you have control over. Know that God is always in control and will guide you.
From 1 Timothy this morning, be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them so that everyone may see your progress. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them, because if you do, you will save both yourself and those who listen to you.
This is Mike Welsh with Judah Oil. Can you join us in the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven,
Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done,
on earth as it is in heaven.
on earth as it is on heaven.
Give us this day our
Give
daily
us
bread,
this day our daily bread,
and forgive us
and forgive us,
our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us.
and forgive us as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not to temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
Amen.
Amen.
It is 8:03 right now. We still have Boob of the Day on the way, good news of the day on the way, lots of stories to get to. But first, we're going to qualify you for those Cowboy tickets, and we're going to get to the news. But that news is being brought to you by Hobbs Airfield Speedway. This weekend, we have the Faustino Memorial Race 3.0 that happens September 6th and 7th, in case you didn't know what those dates were. They have back half, no prep, ride what you brung, True Street, small tire, tailgate, all kinds of great racing this weekend. Gates open at 6, race at 7 on Friday. Gates open at 3 and race at 6 on Saturday. A weekend pass is only $30. Call Jamal today, 575-631-5099. Hobbs Airfield Speedway. Going to have some great racing going on out there this weekend. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to get to. Tom's going to qualify you for the Cowboys tickets. But first, we got to get to the news right here on W105.
Call in at 877-396-9105.
Fox News, I'm CJ Poppets. The race to Election Day, the first mail ballots will be sent to voters this Friday. The first presidential debate is next Tuesday, and a new attack ad from the Harris-Walz campaign.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Thousands of anti-Israel protesters taking over several streets in New York City.
Protests in New York City were organized as to make sure that they wanted to flood New York City for Gaza. But the White House is saying these protests were inappropriate, to say the least, given the latest news out of the Middle East. There are reports some protesters were told to cover their face to avoid surveillance, even take steps to avoid being tracked.
And as Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you searching for a place where your loved one will be loved and cared for like family? Beehive Homes Assisted Living and Memory Care offers long-term, respite care, and senior day care options, 24-hour caregiver assistance, daily activities, medication management, home-cooked meals endorsed by dietitians, mobility, transfers, and ADL assistance. Each unit is comfortable with a private bed and a private 3/4 ADA-approved bathroom. Beehive Homes of Hobbs Assisted Living and Memory Care, the next best place to home. For more information, email Starla at beehivehomesnm.com or call 575-964-7160.
There's a giant Labor Day sales event going on all week at Bob's Ridgeway with fryer leg quarters 49 cents a pound, selected T-bone steak $5.99 a pound, New Mexico green chilies 99 cents a pound, and get your big seedless watermelons just $4.99 each. With specials on hot dog and hamburger buns, ice cream treats, mayonnaise and barbecue sauces, your Shasta Colas down to the Kingsford charcoal. Get Jimmy Dean's sausage, all-American hamburger patties, 2-pound box, just $6.99. More than 150 giant Labor Day sale event items this week at Bob's Ridgeway, where your grocery dollar has always gone farther, especially on Labor Day.
Come out to the White Oaks No Scum Saloon on Saturday, September 7th at 12 p.m. for their annual cornhole tournament. This tournament is to help benefit the Kevin Sheehan Memorial Scholarship Fund. The cost for this event is $60 per team and set teams with a 30% payout. They'll be serving pulled pork sandwiches and chips at this event. At 7 p.m., come out and enjoy some great music from the Graham Brothers Band. For more information, contact Dwayne Zamora at 575-937-0141. That's 575-937-0141.
Sutherland's of Carlsbad is here for all your home improvement and DIY projects. Visit Sutherlands.com for how-to tips and guides. Skip the hassle. Buy online and pick up in-store for free at 2101 South Canal in Carlsbad. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, and plywood to fencing, power tools, and furniture, Sutherland's has what you need for the job, plus great financing options. Sutherland's, helping Americans build it better since 1917.
September savings at National Furniture Liquidators, and it's warehouse cleanup time. Out with the old. Thousands of bargains like chairs and bar stools, $18. Nightstands, $28. End tables, $18, and select mattresses up to 70% off. Bed dressers and chests up to 80% off. Dinettes, 60% off or more, and sofas as low as $188. Thousands of deals, all on a first-come, first-sold basis. Warehouse cleanup time now at National Furniture Liquidators.
Nobody beats Shorty.
Hey, are those the new staff shirts we've been waiting on?
Yes, and no.
What do you mean?
Well, they're supposed to be, but I went through one of those big online places promising lowest price point and fastest turnaround. Well, it was cheap and kind of fast, and they look awful. And after being on hold for an hour to speak with someone, they said it was the artwork provided, and there's nothing they could do.
Let me guess. One of those upload your logo places?
Yes, exactly. Now I've got boxes of shirts that we can't use.
You need to call Awesome Graphics.
The local place I hear on the radio? Can they handle an order this big?
Of course. That's the great thing about Awesome Graphics. They have the technology and equipment the big guys have, but they're here in southeast New Mexico. So not only are you keeping your money local, you have real local people who care about getting your order right. Plus, they can handle your signage, company-branded pencils and cups, and so much more.
What about FR jackets with our company logo logo embroidered on.
Yep, those two. Stop by and see them at 523 West Sanger in Hobbs. Or, since you like online, go to their convenient local website, myawesomegraphics.com.
Myawesomegraphics.com, huh? They really are the best of both worlds.
Now, back to the show.
Until the liberals censor this show, we're on the air and broadcasting.
The pain in my ass.
Call or text now. 877-396-W105 to talk to B in the Breakfast Club.
8:10 right now, KWMW Maljamar. We still got Boob of the Day on the way. We have the good news of the day on the way. We got a lot of stories to get to. Let's check with the weather here. Brought to us by State Representative District 61, Randy Pettigrew. He reminds you during MLG's time as governor, we have seen attacks on our way of life. Our businesses, our freedom, our kids, and our values are all in the crosshairs of this administration. In the middle of the madness, he has kept his promise and his commitment to be your strong conservative voice in Santa Fe. Now, those aren't empty promises. He stands proudly on his results. Vote Randy Pettigrew to continue to defend your freedoms. Randy Pettigrew is asking for your vote in the upcoming election. That is paid for by the committee to reelect Randy Pettigrew. And we're going to be talking to Randy coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. He's got some important stuff that he wants to bring to us, our attention on things going on with the state. And like I said, we'll be talking to him in the 9 o'clock hour. Now I have a phone call here, Tom. You want to bet that it's still trying to qualify?
Maybe.
All
Good
right.
morning. You're on B in the Breakfast Club.
Are you trying to qualify?
Yeah,
or-
I was trying to qualify, man.
Yeah, we'll
do it next round,
Have
brother.
to wait till the next round. Thank you.
I appreciate it. You have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. So that's just another reminder. When you hear that sounder, call in as soon as you can because Tom has taken all of those as they go.
Get qualified. All right. Back to
tell-
the texter.
Tell us about the weather, Tom.
All right. Well, it's going to be very nice today. Back up in the 80s or so. And then maybe a little bit of rain later on.
Okay.
So, but not like it was over the weekend, that's for sure.
No, and it's going to be warm.
Yes.
As the further into the week we go, the warmer it's going to be. You can head over to W105radio.com and check out the full 5-day forecast for yourself.
So,
and if you haven't downloaded our app, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and download our app so you can take us with you everywhere that you go.
Well, and the easiest way to grab it, too, is text the word listen to 877-396-W105. You text that word, just the word listen. It'll automatically text you back with a link to the streaming app that you can get on your computer. It also will take it to the Google and the Apple app. So you can, whatever device you have, you can stream it.
Very cool.
You can listen to us worldwide, across the world.
And
Well,
I
speaking
really,
of,
yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting because we've got a lot of people listening from around the country right now. We don't have any worldwide listeners right now, but we've got a Portland, Oregon listener. We've got somebody in, looks like Las Vegas, Nevada, maybe B.
Could be.
And San
Good morning,
Diego,
Kevin.
California. We've got Phoenix, Arizona. Lots of, obviously, in different parts of southeast New Mexico, but we do have some in northern New Mexico, a Chama listener, several in Albuquerque. We've got some Denver listeners this morning.
Yes.
Lots of Texas, of course, always lots of Texas. We've got a lot of West Texas around the Lubbock area, San Antonio, which I know we had Cookie was talking to us on Facebook earlier. She's in San Antonio,
It's
Dallas
raining.
and Houston.
Yeah, raining there.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it was raining in exactly. Washington, we've got Washington, D.C., as a matter of fact. Tennessee over by Murfreesboro.
Oh.
And then we've got
Wow.
somebody who's listening just outside of Indianapolis. I can't zoom in quite that much. And because several people in Chicago, believe it or not.
Wow.
So that's just from your lovely IP addresses. Those are people that are streaming us worldwide.
Over near Murfreesboro could be Kenny Chesney's parents.
There you go.
There you go. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but that is kind of the area they live in. So,
And so it says, what the heck? We're getting drenched here in Jow right now.
Really?
Tommy. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Well, we don't have the radar up on our screen right now. I just have the forecast, and Tom was going off of memory on that, by the way, from looking at it. So I thought he did pretty good on it.
I don't want to give. I have a way around this, guys. But someone says worst part of the app is the 30-second commercial. I'm sure it's necessary. Look, yes, it pays the bills.
Yes.
Because here's the thing: when we stream now, this show doesn't cost us much because we're not doing music. But anytime we're playing music, man, they nail us. It is our licensing stuff is crazy. So I appreciate you guys supporting our advertisers. And yes, I know it's a pain to watch the 30-second, ad. But if you do tune in or anything else, you have other ads that they stick in there on top of ours, and they interrupt our programming. So it's almost worse.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, back to the text. Papa Top saying Colorado 1-0, LSU 0-1. Yeah, you're right about that.
We'll make sure you wait for that well, I mean, I guess Tom A with Colorado, but the whole B thing, he's going to love that, Papa Top.
I do have to say my Mizzou Tigers have a better record than LSU.
Oh, right, there you go.
Hey, speaking of Colorado, this texter saying, I don't know if you guys have covered this, but have you seen all the controversy surrounding the Hells Angels going to Aurora, Colorado? I heard about that over the weekend.
I heard a couple of different things on it, and I don't have that story in my stack. There was one story that said they were, one story that said they weren't. I know that now the police are actually going to start doing their job and get in there and take care of it where they weren't allowed to do their job before. Not that the officers didn't want to do it. They weren't allowed to do it, and that's why these Venezuelan heavily armed gangs
took over the complex.
Now, can you imagine if you lived in that apartment complex for any length of time and say you go to work and maybe you pulled a 12-hour shift or you pulled a double, whatever you're doing, or even an 8-hour shift or whatever it is, and you come home to an armed gang that has taken over your apartment and everything in it. Like, they would knock on the door, and if somebody was there and opened the door, they barged their way in, and everything in that apartment became theirs, including the people.
Right.
How would you feel? Would you feel abandoned?
I'd call in the mafia guys.
Who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Would you feel abandoned by your government?
They sure feel that way.
Because Kamala Harris was the border czar, and she welcomed them with open arms. If you want to see what Kamala Harris wants for this country, look at Aurora, Colorado right now. And those armed Venezuelan gangs taking over residential apartment complexes.
Complex by complex, so I heard what they're doing.
Let's go a little bit.
Wow. So D'Lo sent in a text. It's a screenshot of a Craigslist ad. And it said, actors needed at the Phoenix Convention Center. Actors help needed for event tomorrow from 2 to 11 p.m. Pays $15 per hour. Duties include protest activity and holding signs that are anti-Trump. Minorities welcome and needed. Looking to fill about 500 spots.
Wow.
$15 an hour.
Just in case you thought that was organic.
There you go.
It's not. All of her protesters, they buy.
Yeah.
Most of her audience, they buy.
Is bought, right.
Yeah. So crazy. And it's kind of like the Chicago White Sox. You know, you might want to keep an eye on them because they're flirting with history. They're on the verge of surpassing the modern day mark of 120 losses in a season.
Man.
Yeah, living members of the 1962 Mets, well, they're keeping an eye out as well. How many Jurassic Park movies have you seen, Tom?
Which one? I'm sorry?
Jurassic Park?
One, the first one.
The first one? Well, time for another one. This one they're going to call Jurassic Park Rebirth.
5-0. What? This is the fifth one?
I lost track at this point.
Yeah, I'm lost. I mean, I've seen them all, but I don't know.
This one's going to have Scarlett Johansson.
Ooh, I don't pay for watching her.
And Mahershala Ali.
Never heard of it.
She's a hottie, too.
It's going to be arriving in theaters next summer. So it's going to be the big one. Now, we just mentioned Donald Trump a minute ago. You know, there's been some bands and musical entertainment folks that don't want Donald Trump to use their music at any of the campaign rallies or anything like that. Well, ABBA is now the next in line asking that Donald Trump stop using their music after they became aware that they were using it.
Just be grateful you're getting exposure.
Right? I mean, now, if you think about it, this is kind of a trivia thing. ABBA is one of Tom's favorite bands, he says, but they actually are number 2 all time on the amount of money they brought in from their music. The number 1 group is, of course, the Beatles, but ABBA is ahead of the Stones.
Wow.
On that, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see about that happens. And it's about time for a new James Bond movie and a new James Bond. Now, the leading contender seems to be, and this is where the money is, 34-year-old Aaron Taylor Johnson.
British guy?
Yeah, and I don't know who he is, honestly.
Yeah,
I saw the name, and I'm like, I haven't had time to go look it up.
Well, who's the Bond girl's going to be in this movie?
Well, I don't know. Who's Bond? Because it's not going to be Daniel Craig. So the next time you see him, he's let his hair grow long. He really has, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Tom in the text.
Who is Alba? Asks one of the texter. They're a pop group back from the 70s. Pretty good.
But they ask who is ABBA, but they spell it right. Whatever. You know who ABBA is.
Right. They're just getting you, Tom. They want to see if you know any of their songs.
Right. And the dude from Lovington, did Will say Marshala Ali is a hottie?
She totally is.
Is she?
Look her up.
I've never heard of her. Never seen her either.
What relationship is she to Mohammed?
She's Muslim, isn't she?
I don't think she is.
Okay.
I think she's actually from. I think she's not. I think her name is Marshala. No, that's him. That's he.
Oh.
I apologize. I've got it mistaken for somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That is a dude, man. You're right, dude from Lovington. No, Marshala is he was the one that they were saying they were going to tap to play Black Panther. I'm totally
that guy.
confused.
That guy. Okay.
You're right, dude. Sorry.
That makes sense. Oh, so we got two superheroes going to be in this one.
Yep, apparently.
Now, the Black Panther original, that guy died a couple of years ago, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Great. He was a great actor. Yeah.
Smoking Arizona is chiming in. Good morning, guys. And Will, is there any good update from your doctor's visit in Dallas?
Nothing definitive yet. There's still hope, but there's nothing that they haven't told me. We don't have a path forward yet. Once we do, I'll let you guys know, but it's just kind of a hurry up and wait type thing right now.
Well, good. But we're more on the good news train than the bad news train. At this
we
point.
are.
So, and
still need prayers, and I appreciate it.
And before we move on to more text,
So is he a hottie or not, Will? I said I am secure enough in my masculinity. He's not really my type. I would say if I'm looking at African American men,
he's a good looking guy.
He's not bad, but I would say the Luke Cage actor is better looking to me. But that's just me being
bald.
I don't swing that way. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and you're right. I like the shaved head look. So,
but I like you. I am totally secure in who I am, and I'm more than willing to say someone's good looking when they are.
Oh, the dude from what you say, yeah, he was supposed to be. That's what I was saying, the Blade remake. But apparently, it was in development hell and doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Good.
Well, that's sad.
Good. Well, because one of my favorite things, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, Blade is in it with all the cameos.
Yeah.
And my favorite line from him in that movie is, "There's only ever been one Blade."
There you go. So what I liked the original Blade with Chris Christopherson and Wesley Snipes.
Wesley, yeah, was it?
But anyway, that movie reference and good-looking actors brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool. ×1, ×5, ×10, magnification mirrors, bright LED lights, travels easy in a traveling case and weighs less than 4 pounds. It's perfect for putting on your makeup or, guys, for trimming your beard. Will, do you use it when you shave your head?
I do not for my head, but I do use it for my goatee for sure.
See, so it's perfect, guys. Don't think it's only for women, right? I had a splinter that I got in my finger and I couldn't get it out. And I had to use that mirror when I got home. Now it's a mirror, so things are backwards and you got to adjust. But I used that ×10 and I could see it really well and grab it with my tweezers. And I've had things in my eye before. I've had to use that mirror.
Yeah.
And my wife says, just get your own. And I'm like, no, I'll just use yours. But so guys, it's a great gift if you have not given it to the woman in your life, whoever that may be, your mother, your wife, your sister, or daughter, anybody. But just know that you can borrow it and use it if you need to. And like Will said, he uses it when he does his goatee and all that kind of stuff. And it is perfect. Like, it is a perfect gift. It really is. You can buy it online at atlastmakeupmirror.com, or you can call Rebecca Long, who is the inventor of that mirror, 575-631-3189. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram, and they actually have a wall mount version. So I may end up doing that for my wife, getting her the wall mount so it stays in the bathroom, and then I'll take the portable one with me.
Nice.
I don't know. Tom in the text.
All right. Aaron Taylor Johnson is the lead lieutenant soldier in Godzilla.
whoa. Don't.
Have you never heard him do that, his stupid Rockzilla thing? Okay, Tom. Thank you, Blake, for you tried to kill us back in time.
That is not what Godzilla sounds like.
What it sounds like to me.
The Godzilla roar was created off of a bass string played backwards.
No, see, Rockzilla is something completely separate from Godzilla.
Yeah.
Rockzilla is Tom's pet rock.
Yeah.
And like anybody needed to know that, but just so you have the backstory.
And I guarantee you, your rock doesn't make that sound either.
No.
You're not fast enough, Blake. But
Man, if he doesn't stop blowing out my ears with that,
just leave it off, and then we're good.
All right.
Someone criticizing Blake for giving away the spoiler of the Deadpool movie. I'm sorry, guys, but if you haven't seen it by now,
it's been out for 4 weeks.
Yeah, but that was a pretty minor spoiler. So the Chris Evans cameo is probably even more one, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, that's my favorite cameo.
Oh, it's great. No, Deadpool Wolverine is fantastic. If you haven't seen it,
I gotta go see it. I haven't seen it.
It's not for little kids.
No, it is not. It is, there have been 389 F-bombs dropped in Disney Marvel movies, and 388 of them are in this movie.
Really?
There you go. Just to give you an example.
But it is not for kids in any way, shape, or form.
I've seen the original Deadpool, but I haven't seen any other. Has there been 2, 3 since then?
This is the third one.
If you you saw the original, Tom, so you know that it's not for kids. This one just takes it up a notch.
Poor guy gets beat up though, doesn't he?
He does. But that's kind of the whole point,
right,
of the movies. And if you like comic books and you like superheroes, and you're even remotely a fan, you will probably like this movie. It's a lot of irreverent humor. Like I said, a lot of F-bombs. That's my favorite word, so it didn't bother me at all. But it's the matchup you've wanted to see. It's the team up matchup, etc. It is extremely violent. It's Deadpool, right? It's a guy that has healing factor teaming up with another guy that has healing factor that heals from everything. And you can imagine what ensues from there. So
go watch it.
Yeah. So a woman in Missouri, she may have stumbled across a huge collection of Ansel Adams photographs. Now, do you know who he is, Tom? He was famous for his pictures of the American Southwestern landscapes. He did a lot of them with infrared photography and stuff. He did,
I see those at restaurants.
Yosemite. Yeah, you've seen them.
Yeah.
The collection would have been taken on one of his trips through the Southwest in the 30s and 40s. Now, the owner of this collection is trying to spread awareness about the newly unearthed photographs, which is pretty cool. Her name is Kelly Robinson. She's the owner of the collection. It says here that in early June, she, who is from southwestern Missouri, stumbled upon this collection, and it piqued her interest. But she quickly realized the collection included a lot more than just a couple of Native American photos. So she said, quote, "I found it was part of an overarching larger collection of 200 photos that came directly from the corporate photography collection at the Santa Fe Railway." Like, they thought they were just going to sell a couple of Native American photos, but then they have all this other stuff. The woman who Robinson purchased it from is the granddaughter of the person who worked at the railway's advertising department in the 40s, and told her some of the photographs could be the work of Ansel Adams. So she did research, and it turns out that almost every photograph in that group is an Ansel Adams photograph, ones that we've never seen before. Now, Will, you will remember, because you're Gen X like I, growing up in the mall, they had those poster stores, and they had the Nagels, the Patrick Nagel art and stuff like that. But they always had Ansel Adams photographs of like the national parks and stuff in there as well for sale.
Farrah Fawcett.
They had her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. That's
I got to hand it to B. How he stays on track with this, I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. And the newest Baskin Robbins flavor this month, Tom?
Strawberry.
Peanut butter blossom.
Ooh.
Of course, you'll have to have some to know what it tastes like.
I can't do it.
What?
If it was sugar-free, maybe I'd do it, but I can't do regular ice cream.
Oh my God. If only that were true. No, I look.
Where's my lie meter?
From your mouth to God's ears, I pray that there's any truth to that, Tommy. But unfortunately, you've proven me wrong so many times that
Let's do the boob of the day before we take a break. If you've got that ready, Will.
I do. We're ready.
Okay. Boob of the day being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. They have medical professionals on staff. They offer functional medicine such as natural supplements, stem cell therapy, ozone therapy, and cryotherapy chamber. Now, ladies, they also offer hormonal optimization. Desert Functional Medicine believes in treating the root cause of the problem, not just in numbing the symptoms. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, 3900 North Levington Highway, Suite 550 in Hobbs. You can give them a call, 575-964-8025. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
So this dude really leveled up a classic prank. Hopefully he doesn't start setting these on fire. So some guy in Louisville, Kentucky, keeps pooping on the same person's porch.
Oh.
The local news is calling him the pooch pooper. The porch pooper, excuse me. Porch. So he's done it twice so far, but he's visited the house at least 3 times. He walked up to their door last Sunday night, looked inside, and left without doing anything. But then he came back the next night, and a security camera caught it all on video. He trots up on the front steps, pops a squat in front of their doormat, and then unloads. The homeowner walked outside the next morning and thought it was cat poop. I'm sorry, dude. You must have a big cat. But then realized it wasn't. They say he also peed on the welcome mat, and then the next night he came back and did it again.
Oh, my God.
The guy who lives there says he tried to confront the pooper that time, but he was already gone. Last we heard, the porch pooper's identity is still unknown. It's not clear if the defecation was malicious or if the guy just has issues or just really needed to go. The homeowner says he's glad he hasn't tried to break in or anything, but he'd like the pooping to stop.
Wow.
For pooping on this porch in full view of the camera and getting caught by it. By the way, the video online is pretty funny. It's also pretty gross. You're the boob of the day. Congratulations.
Boob of the day being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. We got to take a break. News being brought to you by WWRV. Are you wanting an affordable, quiet place to park your RV while you are working in and around Carlsbad? Well, WWRV is 3 RV parks in one with a goal to be the quiet place for their working tenants. They have multiple RV sites with 30 and 50 amp service available, and all utilities are included in the price, and that includes premier wired internet at each site for your gaming and movie streaming needs. WWRV is pet friendly and well lit with plenty of streetlights. You can get pricing and contact info by visiting their website, www.rvx3.com, or call 988-0392 for WWRV. I said we got to take a break. Tom, is there any text we got to get to before we do?
No, we're updated for now.
All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to qualify you for the Cowboys tickets, and then we're going to listen to some news right here on W105.
The only thing matters is a win. That's it. However, whatever it takes. Fires into the end zone. Touchdown!
Call in at 877-396-9105.
MTD Radio News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Get the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovart.
The Federal Aviation Administration will be funding about $1.2 million for some projects at the Lee County Regional Airport in Hobbs. One FAA grant for $673,403 is for the construction costs related to installing municipal sewer service at the airport, and another $529,277 is for the reconstruction of the apron and runway. In July, the county opened bids for the construction of the sanitary sewer from the City of Hobbs sewer system along US 62-180 to the airport terminal and fire station at the airport. Entrench submitted the winning bid and the grant from the FAA for the construction of the sanitary sewer in the amount of $673,000. A motorcycle accident when he was 19 years old left Dustin Berg physically paralyzed, but it hasn't dampened his spirit for outdoor and recreation adventure. 2 years after the 2003 accident, the paraplegic formed Go Unlimited, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing disabled people with outdoor and sporting opportunities. Berg said outdoor recreation was critical in his life, and a spinal injury wasn't going to hamper his ability to hunt and fish across New Mexico's vast outdoor spaces. Therapeutic recreation such as fishing, hunting, trekking, archery, and wheelchair basketball are activities that Berg and his organization stress as a way for those with spinal cord injuries to stay active. Berg emphasizes fishing. He said it was one of the first outdoor activities he pursued after his injury. Wheelchair-accessible pontoon boats were used to provide fishing expeditions across New Mexico, according to the Go Unlimited website. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We got to get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota's National Sales Event, there's still time to squeeze more fun out of summer with a new Camry, RAV4, Corolla, and more. So go on, squeeze your extended family into a Highlander for a family reunion.
Everybody in. Tammy, Teddy, Toady, Tommy, Toby, Terry. Wait, where's Rex?
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd. Toyota. Let's go places.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today. Toyota. Let's go places. The global demand for oil and natural gas is growing, and leaders are looking to American producers to satisfy that demand with the abundant resources available in our country. If you're passionate about keeping energy affordable for your neighbor and reliable for everyone, then it's time you consider a career in oil and natural gas. Coterra Energy is expanding their Permian team and is offering an unmatched employee benefits package. If you're interested in applying, text Coterra to 71441. That's COTERRA to 71441. Coterra Energy is an equal opportunity employer.
The thrills are endless at Cliffs. I've tamed a sea dragon, wrestled a New Mexican rattler, and navigated the Rocky Mountain Rapids. There's no thrill big enough at Cliffs for this thrill seeker.
Get your tickets at cliffsamusementpark.com.
You never have to choose at Cliffs. You get it all.
I love Water Mania at Cliffs Amusement Park. I love the sea dragon the best. I really love the rattler the most. I can't wait to try to win that giant snake.
Get your tickets at cliffsamusementpark.com.
At Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services, from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells, as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
Be in the Breakfast Club. The human brain starts working the moment you're born and never stops. Unless you're Tom Hay.
You just have a brain fart.
Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to B and the Breakfast Club.
Now with the most information for you to start your day.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
And it is 8:39 here. Kevin Connor. He won $2.6 million in the Massachusetts State Lottery. Yeah, I know I said his name like you. Who are you supposed to know who that is? But no, this guy in Massachusetts. He played the same numbers for 3 years, a combination of the numbers from his wife's old landline phone number from when they first dated and her favorite number. So people that, laugh at you for remember landline numbers, well, it just won this guy $2.6 million. And Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg. Do you know who they are, Tom?
Yes. A couple.
Yes. They are a couple. Anyway, an actor, Donnie Wahlberg, wasn't he in one of the boy bands?
NSYNC.
He was New Kids, and was a star in Blue Bloods, I believe.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's. I just couldn't remember which boy band he was in. They celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary over the weekend.
Get out.
And they renewed their vows, so that's kind of cool. And just a warning, Tom, since you probably won't pay attention to this because you said you don't do sugar anymore. Coming to a grocery store this fall, not only do we have Wednesday cereal, but we're going to have Coca-Cola flavored Oreos.
I'm not interested. No.
You're not interested. Okay.
I'll try it. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing about a diabetic. You can take a little bitty nibble and not eat the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. So you know that Krispy Kreme is now offering Dr. Pepper flavored donuts, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I went to Bob's.
was that that you're going to try?
Well, I went to Bob's on Saturday. The Lovington Wildcat soccer team was having a fundraiser. And so they had Krispy Kreme donuts, but they didn't have those Dr. Pepper ones.
You would have bought them if they did, right?
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. No sugar there.
Pepper addict. Yeah, exactly. No sugar. Look, I will be the first to say that donuts were my big weakness for a long time.
Right.
But they make me so sick, man. I love.
Yeah, never nibble every once in a while.
I'm telling you, if I come across I can't even say it. Dr. Pepper flavored donuts from Krispy Kreme, I'm definitely going to try it, and I'll bring you guys back some if I see them.
Please tell me how it is.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you. So this little food update here being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Main Street in Roswell. More than 1,000 firearms in stock, handguns, rifles, and shotguns. Are you looking for personal protection? They have lethal and non-lethal protection available. You can find the right gun for you at Zia Guns. Trade in or trade up by trading in your old gun. Ladies, they encourage you to come visit them and talk to their expert staff. Stop in and see them today at Zia Guns, 1907 North Main Street in Roswell. They offer customer satisfaction and they offer great customer service. 575-622-0023. Always closed on Saturday, but open on Sunday so you can get in there and get your new gun today. Tom in the text.
All right, Trump-obsessed hater is chiming in. In 15 days, an angry old demented grandpa will be sentenced to his 34 felony counts. Referring to Donald Trump, I believe, says the texter.
That's interesting. The 34 made up? The 34 that has never been used in a legal way before? It was legal acrobats?
Just so we're clear, that is the 7th text. No, saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 texts. I apologize. 6. Okay. I want to be accurate.
Okay.
The 6th text they've texted in a matter of minutes.
So
Trump obsessed hater really is obsessed.
Yeah.
Copy paste.
Oh yeah, it's clearly because there's no way they type that fast.
That fast, right? Gary from the Patch is chiming in. That was the poop of the day, not the boob of the day. He's laughing this morning. Okay. And Smokey in Arizona says the boob of the day is Tom all day, every day, says the texter. Another one says, I don't know about the Godzillas before that movie in the 2000s with Matthew Broderick. Godzilla's roar was a recording of a rusty gate opening.
Tom, if you do that again, I'm going to come across this table.
I think you finally found his button, Tommy. You probably got to stop because he's actually within striking distance.
Well, I invented that. You know what I'm saying? I invented that
and it's just as annoying, the fact that you... Someone said it sounds more like a crow than it does Godzilla.
Right. Well, you guys do your version of Godzilla. Let's see how good it is.
I can't, and I won't.
Look, go look it up online, and you will see how they did it. It's a G string, which is kind of funny.
Well, they do like
the G bass string is they did it, and they did it by running a pick up it backwards. And they combined it with something else, and I forget what the other thing is. But there's a whole thing on how they actually made that roar.
Even the original one in 1954?
That's the one, yeah.
Really?
Someone says they have a new word for when someone does something dumb. You really tommed that up.
See?
Tom, you're famous.
I'm famous for stuff like that.
There you go. Famous for stuff like that. Detectives are investigating a homicide they say happened late Sunday night near Central and Louisiana in Albuquerque. Officers found one man dead with gunshot wounds in the area of Chico Road and Grove Street just after 11 p.m. on Sunday, and they have not identified any suspects yet. Now, since August, APD has launched 13 homicide investigations with 17 victims in total. Now, that was more than what APD lists for June and July combined. So they're becoming more and more like Chicago every day in Albuquerque. In September, they had 2 cases and 4 victims. August, 11 cases, 13 victims. And you got to remember, September, we're 3 days into it, right? They already had 2 cases. July, 3 cases, 3 victims. June, 9 cases, 10 victims. And that's the highest number since July of 2023, when they had 14 cases with 14 victims. So they're not just stealing your car, Will. They want to kill you too.
Right. Work you over.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
Yet why are people still moving to Albuquerque? Wasn't that story we did a few months ago?
Are they?
People were still flocking to Albuquerque.
See, I thought they were fleeing Albuquerque. I thought it was a zero net gain. But 2 asteroids around the size of 2 football fields, well, they will pass close to Earth next month. And I say relatively close to Earth, and I will bring you that full story later as I get all the details. I'm going to have to go look it up so I can see exactly how far that is, because I like those celestial things.
Where's Bruce Willis when you need him?
He is suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
And at home.
At home.
So
he won't be, he won't be
riding
a rocket to
yeah, he won't be
rescue us.
No
to a Steven Tyler song. Yeah.
Self-sacrificing, staying on the asteroid. Not going to happen. In San Francisco, 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot in the chest in an attempted robbery in San Francisco on Saturday afternoon. The 17-year-old suspect was arrested. So see, when I say Albuquerque is a lot like San Francisco, except without the beauty of the coast, even though they have some of the mountains. Yeah, it's a lot like that. Or Chicago, take your pick. Tom, you're actively looking at the text. Go ahead and tell us.
I want to talk about something just real quick before Tom gets the text. So we have some, and I was just curious about the listeners. I wanted to pick their brain. We have a couple of opportunities to expand Being the Breakfast Club beyond Southeast New Mexico and West Texas. So we might, maybe, still up in the air. So the plan is we may have a bigger force in Lincoln County, which that's in the works. But there may be a possibility that we could possibly be in a market like Albuquerque.
Bernalillo County. Wow.
Yeah, there's a possibility that we could be up there in that. Now, we would be in a place that would accept such a show. So it would, already be a kind of a like-minded thing. But can you imagine the amount of liberals we'd have texting us from up there?
Oh my goodness.
That'd be all right.
And calling. Well, it would be interesting. So it's something that's, it's a possibility. It may someday happen.
Are they ready for B though?
I mean, probably not.
Good question.
For that matter.
Good
Are
question.
they ready for Tom A?
Well, yeah.
They're not ready for that.
All right. So that crazy screeching blowing out my eardrum sound brought to you by All American Cleaners, family owned and operated. They treat their customers like family. In case you're wondering, I got Tom's mic off right now. They can wash and fold your clothes 17 pounds for just $16.99 in Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, and Hobbs. AllAmericanCleaners.net. Okay, Tom, without the sound effects, go to the text.
All right. This text is saying texting and calling on their free phones, their Obama phones, says the texter. Okay.
Hold that thought, because it is Telephone Tuesday. And if you've been stuck on hold for an hour or more, then maybe that's why. Tuesday after Labor Day is supposedly the day that businesses get the most phone calls every single year. So that's why they started calling it Telephone Tuesday. Now, it's partly because everyone's open again after a long weekend, and it's when people start planning for the holidays that are coming up. Because as this brief spell of cold weather happens, you start thinking about the holidays and pumpkins and all that good stuff, right? So Telephone Tuesday is a loose business observation. It's kind of like a distant cousin, Black Friday, but it may be fading into the past now that the growing number of businesses use automated menus that direct people online, where they're met with digital assistants and chat bots. So AI taking over even more. Tom, continue with the text.
All right. Hey, Will, what about Roosevelt County? They're asking.
Look, I would love to be, up there, because obviously we've got a lot of like-minded folks in Clovis and Portales area. I would love to do that, but we have to have a signal that we could put it on. So what we're talking about is not expanding 105, obviously, because we're as big a station as we could be.
Yes.
So we're already at our limit on W105. The only way we can be bigger is online, which we are. We're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But in terrestrial, we'd have to put it on another station, and we'd have to have permission to do that. So there are some stuff that could possibly happen. There again, it's way up in the air. I'm just curious and wanted to know y'all's thoughts. But I would love, if we had a Clovis, affiliate that wanted to be a part. Who knows? Maybe we be in the Breakfast Club, maybe a syndicated show someday.
Right.
Might be. You never know.
And hey, I'll give Blake $10 to slap the crap out of Tom every time he makes those stupid noises.
So $2 every time? Well, it's coming now. He's gonna pay. He's gonna get paid to slap you now, Tom.
$10, man. Wow, we can go eat.
I'm not splitting it.
No.
Go
get a burrito over there.
I'm not splitting it.
The butcher block.
See, here it is. What we talked about earlier, Tom, not asking for something, but asking for something.
Right.
Oh, another text says Jenny McCarthy could be the boobs of the day. Says the
yeah.
No. I don't even know who she is, to tell you the truth.
You don't know who Jenny McCarthy?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Former Playboy Playmate. She was on MTV, for a lot of years.
Oh.
She's been in multiple movies.
Mm-hmm.
MTV, is this still around?
Well, yes and no. It's not anywhere close to what it used to be. But
It is not music television.
Correct.
But they do bad reality TV.
That's pretty much all it is now. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Continue.
And another text says, do you guys play fantasy football? Are y'all happy with all your teams? Season starts on Thursday.
I used to. I haven't in the last couple years. So
I never played, so I don't have no idea. So
hey, there's one of our San Diego.
You actually would be good at it, Tom, because it's all about stats.
Is it? Okay.
Well, yeah, he's probably right. You would. But here's the problem. You'd have to be able to do it on your phone. So someone said, just keep bringing real country music to San Diego, and I'll be happy.
Right.
So there's one of our San Diego listeners we saw streaming online.
There you go. Happy day in San Diego.
Might be my brother-in-law looking for his wife.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. John in Pyote, Texas says Jenny McCarthy was married to Jim Carrey.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's right. She was for a while.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I would say that out of the two, she is the more normal.
She was.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and she's pretty out there.
Yeah.
So Big Poppy says, I have another 10. This could be going up.
That's up to,
Tom, you could be in trouble, buddy.
$20 a slap?
Man, that make our lunch.
No, not our. They offered it to me.
Well.
Now, if you hate walking and running because it's boring, well, here's an easy way to make it even less enjoyable. Tom, you will not be partaking in this. It's the hot new workout trend. It's called rucking. And that's where you walk around while wearing a heavy rucksack or backpack. It's based on how members in the military train, like with their backpack.
Right.
They have to do a lot of walking and running while they carry their equipment around. And it's gotten popular on social media because you probably have everything you need to do it and don't need to buy any more special equipment. Just grab your backpack from your closet, fill it with something heavy, like, I don't know, books, if you own any, or, you can start small, like a water bottle, and go from there. And that extra weight helps get your heart rate up faster, and you can walk at whatever pace you want. And I've even seen some people in gyms doing this now on like the stair climber and the
Right.
treadmill and stuff like that. But it is a popular thing. When Kevin gets back, we'll have to ask him if that's what he's doing now.
He'll get into that. You watch.
I know. It'll be kind of interesting to see. And are you running low on fuel on 128 between Jal and Carlsbad? Well, you can check out Twin Wells Fuel Station. It's 2.75 miles south of 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Twin Wells Fuel Station is open to the public. It's a large, nicely built station with plenty of cover. They sell unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, and DEF. Twin Wells Fuel Station accepts all major credit cards, debit, and fleet cards. Don't sweat making it to the next town. Fill up just south of 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Be safe on the road from Twin Wells Fuel Station. Tom in the text.
All right. So Aaron says, Tom, I didn't get to hear your Godzilla impression. Could you
Please
do
no.
it again?
Please no. Just turn it off. Turn it off now. I'll read the rest of the text. Aaron, you sorry? I got some not nice words to say to you, Aaron. I know you're laughing right now, but no.
Can you hear Tom laughing in my microphone?
I'd say Tom makes that an annoying sound again. I want to drive by and smack him myself.
Come on by 717 South Country Club.
There you go. So we're fairly caught up. So
Yeah. Okay.
Trump obsessed haters still going.
Yeah,
So-
whatever. If he made a good point,
well,
that would be one thing.
Right.
But it's just innuendo, right?
Well, and that's
it's
the thing.
something
You're just-
they might have heard.
Prove it.
And then, no, not even prove it. How about not just something you've heard that's innuendo cast out there by someone racist?
So I'll read this one just to stir the pot. Too many Christians have forgotten Jesus and now worship a serial adulterer, a convicted felon, and an adjudicated rapist.
Well, see, right there, it's false.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he was not a rapist. The girl who brought those charges said he did not.
Well,
So
you
again,
say-
this is just innuendo. It's name calling. And if you want to go there, what about Tim Wall's brother,
Well,
who
but
says
we're-
that he's a serial liar?
Well, if we're going to talk about a serial adulterer, Bill Clinton ring any bells?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna, everybody,
Uh,
those in glass houses.
Kamala
You know-
Harris is famous for what?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, she wasn't exactly doing that with her husband.
No. So, I mean, like you said, glass houses. And again, Tim Wall's brother flat out says he's not fit for the office.
Ooh.
He's a habitual liar and not fit for office. That's his brother.
He should know.
A Texas border gun shop owner says more women are purchasing guns since the Biden-Harris opened up the border. He's seen a marked increase in gun purchases because of that crisis. Now, his name is Gary Humphreys, and he's the owner of Humphreys Gun in Del Rio, and he's owned it since 1973. And he said, since the border opened up, we're getting new people that never owned guns coming in and buying them. Now, he's seen that increase since the border policies implemented by the border czar, that is Kamala Harris, and the Biden-Harris administration took effect. He said he's getting a lot of women, quote, that never owned a gun before coming in because they need it for self-protection. It's pretty scary out there. And he had an incident where someone broke into his front door and emphasized that people don't live on the border, don't realize what's really happening down there and how bad things really are. Now, when asked what he thought about the election coming up, he said he has overwhelming support for President Donald Trump to return to the White House. He is 100% Trump, he says, adding that if Trump is elected, he will reinstate the border policies that were there before. He says if Kamala Harris wins, you can kiss anything down by the southern border goodbye. Pretty strong words.
Trump-obsessed hater. Whataboutism is a whataboutery or a pejorative for a strategy of responding to an accusation with a counter-accusation instead of defense against the original accusation. No, we responded to your accusation by saying they were not true, and then gave you an example of something that was true.
Well, look. This is a classic argument style. It's the "Are you still beating your wife?" argument. I never did. So are you still doing it? that's the way they continue that argument. So you can't just throw out a false narrative and then say, well, you got to defend that before bringing anything else up. Well, that's just dumb. Why do I have to defend something you made up? That was in your head. You defend it.
So even the gal he was accused of raping, I forget her name now. I don't care enough to remember it.
E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah, her. She said, well, he did it to he did it mentally, not physically.
Right.
So there's no rape. The fact that he was convicted of anything, any of these things, of course, the felonies that they made felonies that should never have been felonies. I mean, we can go on and on, but you're just get over yourself.
Right. And Will, the Cure keyboardist, Roger O'Donnell, he announced he is diagnosed with cancer last year. It's a very rare and aggressive form of lymphoma, sadly. So I don't think the Cure is going to be getting back together anytime soon. So kind of sad out there. But, you know, that happens as people get older, different diseases come up, but our hearts and prayers go out to him today. We got to get to the news because coming back on the other side, we're going to have a special guest with us. It's going to be Randy Pettigrew. He's going to be telling us about what's going on with CYFD. If you remember, Will, we were talking about the various offices having to house children.
Oh, yeah.
And so he has an update on that, and he's going to tell us what he found. Like I said, it's straight up 901 KWMW Maljamar, also known as W105. News being brought to us by Seminole Siding and Construction. Is a trusted name in southeast New Mexico for exceptional construction and siding services. While they offer residential services, their specialty is the construction of commercial and industrial type metal buildings. From start to finish, Seminole Siding and Construction offers a comprehensive solution for all your construction needs. Don't settle for anything less than the best. Choose Seminole Siding and Construction for your next project and experience the difference quality makes. Will, I know you've experienced that difference.
For sure. No, they're great guys, and they do awesome, awesome work.
So contact them today to get started. 575-391-1430. Commercial metal buildings, industrial metal buildings, shingle and metal roofs, siding, soffit and fascias, doors and windows, seamless gutters. Go to SeminoleSidingAndConstruction.com and check them out. We got to take a break. We're checking in with news right now on W105.
Fox News, I'm CJ Poppets. The race to Election Day, the first mail ballots will be sent to voters this Friday. The first presidential debate is next Tuesday, and a new attack ad from the Harris-Walz campaign.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Thousands of anti-Israel protesters taking over several streets in New York City.
Protests in New York City were organized as to make sure that they wanted to flood New York City for Gaza. But the White House is saying these protests were inappropriate, to say the least, given the latest news out of the Middle East. There are reports some protesters were told to cover their face to avoid surveillance, even take steps to avoid being tracked.
And as Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
What is the Safe Haven Law? In New Mexico, you can bring your infant up to 90 days old to any Safe Haven site without fear of being criminally charged. This includes hospitals, fire stations, and police departments. Monica Kelsey, founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, has worked diligently to provide 3 baby box locations for your convenience. Hobbs's Baby Box is at Fire Station 1, 301 East White Street. Carlsbad's Baby Box is at Fire Department Station 1, 401 South Halegueño Street. Roswell's Baby Box is at their Central Fire Station, 200 South Richardson Avenue. Remember, if you can't make it to one of these Safe Haven Baby Box locations, you can take your infant to any hospital, police department, or fire station. No shame, no blame, and no names. Visit shbb.org for more information.
OMG, is that actually an egg frying on my hood?
No, I think it may be all those bugs stuck to your grill starting to cook. Ugh, hard to say. I can't see through the layers of desert dirt all over my windshield.
Wait, what is this? Am I pulling into a car wash? Oh, yeah!
We're gonna get so wet! Hey, we clean up nice.
Visit your local area Mighty Wash in West Texas, Hobbs, Carlsbad, and now open in Lovington, New Mexico. Be sure to ask about the Mighty Wash Unlimited plan, good at any Mighty Wash. Visit mymightywash.com for pricing and locations.
In need of a tow? Those don't have to be dirty words. At Lee County Roadside, they have been offering friendly and knowledgeable service for 20 years. From light to heavy duty, there's nothing they can't tow. And with 24-hour availability, there's no time they can't tow it. Don't make a bad day worse by choosing the wrong tow company. Lee County Roadside, the good guys to call in a bad situation. For 24-hour service, call 575-392-3223 or locate them at 7401 North Del Paso, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Like Lee County Roadside on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.
Medications taking away key nutrients from your body? Struggling with weight loss? Pharmacy 575 offers all your prescription needs and more. From their My Daily Medication program with pre-dosed packages to weight loss plan with in-body scanner or their medication and wellness consultations, let Pharmacy 575 help. With walk-in vaccines and local delivery, they do it all. Go see Pharmacy 575 at 305 East Sanger Suite 600 or call 575-263-2908. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Pharmacy 575. Your health, their priority.
This Hobbs Eagles Sports Update is brought to you by America Supply in Hobbs, locally owned and operated, and a proud supporter of Hobbs Eagles athletics.
Looking for oil field, industrial, and safety supplies? Go to America Supply. Need cleaning supplies? America Supply has that too. How about restaurant and food truck supplies? Are you beginning to see a trend here? America Supply carries everything from H2S and quad monitors, fire extinguishers and first aid kits, to safety glasses, vests, FR clothing, fall protection, and gloves of all types. They have your slings and whip checks, your lift straps and cam locks, your adapters, pipe fittings, and threaders. They have many name brands like Lockout, Tagout, Pelican, Milwaukee, Rigid, and so many more. Visit America Supply to find exactly what you're looking for and then some. 502 North Grimes and Hobbs under the Big American Eagle or call 575-393-3383.
Blake Ovard, MTD Radio here with Hobbs Eagles head coach Ken Stevens. Coach, you had a big game this weekend and you got a win. What are you most proud of from your team?
I'm most proud of the character that our kids displayed. You know, after starting off the season pretty rough, for them to have the resilience and the toughness and the belief in each other that they could overcome that stuff and come back and beat a team like Artesia. You know, that's what I'm most proud of.
What does this mean moving forward into this next game?
You know, it doesn't get any easier for us. For Roswell High, I think they're the number 2 ranked team. Artesia was 1 in that division, so it doesn't get any easier. But it should give us confidence moving forward, knowing that if we do things right and play to our capabilities, that we're capable of beating anybody.
And the Eagles will face another tough challenge this week as they go into Roswell to take on the 1-0 Coyotes at 7 p.m. on Friday.
This has been your Hobbs Eagles Sports Update, brought to you by America Supply, 502 North Grimes in Hobbs, or call 575-393-3383.
Let's get it on! You're a lot smarter than I look.
We asked Southeast New Mexico what they wanted in a morning show, and they told us. We're tired of being asked what we want in a morning show. All right.
Both of us were banging our heads like 2 16-year-olds, yelling at each other.
Be in the Breakfast Club. Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
And it is 9:08. We still got good news of the day on the way. But first, we have with us State Representative District 61, Randy Pettigrew. How are you this morning, Randy?
Good morning, Blake. I'm doing well.
Now, you've made a couple visits to some CYFD facilities and things like that recently. And, of course, they've been in the news for what's been going on there. Give us a rundown on what you found and what's going on.
Well, I tried to make one on Saturday, Blake. I was headed to Lovington to get some things taken care of, and I ended up with a phone call from a local business in Hobbs, just kind of venting. They'd gotten a last-minute call from the night before, and then a call that day from the CYFD office saying that they needed food. They were going to have they were going to have 12 to 15 kids that are displaced right now,
right,
in their facility over the weekend, and they needed food for them, food clothing and sundries and stuff like that for them.
Okay.
And so this local business, and this is one of the reasons why I'm just going to put a queue in for local businesses and not the big chain stores. Local businesses are the ones that give back to the community. It's not the big chain stores.
Right.
And so anyway, so make 140 sandwiches so they make sure they have food for the kids and fruits and stuff like that for the weekend.
That's a lot.
Just frustrating. Well, yeah, but frustrating because they're at CYFD.
Not in a foster home.
Not in a foster home, exactly.
Offices of CYFD?
The offices of CYFD. And so, anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, my afternoon's screwed. I'm going to Hobbs. And I go to Hobbs. Now, I spend an hour on the phone trying to find the secretary for CYFD, Teresa Casado. Finally get her cell phone number and leave her a multitude of messages, and it's now
she's having a holiday. She can't be bothered, right?
Yeah. Well, it's 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and I still haven't gotten a return phone call from her. And so then I call the sheriff's office, and I'm like, okay, so who's the right person to talk to? And I finally get hold of somebody with the sheriff's office with everything that they've got going on protecting Lee County. And they're like, well, we have to go through Hobbs PD. And I'm like, makes sense. Okay, so I call Chief Vaughns up and I say, okay, so how do we do this? And I get a couple of names and phone numbers, and long story short, the chief sends patrol units over there.
Sure.
And they go through, and yeah, they're in office space. There are beds on the floor. There's one room there that has 2 beds on it.
Okay.
That are real beds.
Right.
But everybody else, all the other beds are on the floor, and the kids' backpacks and whatever they get to carry with them is on the floor next to their bed.
Now, this, again, these are offices. They're not designed for residential stay. They're not designed for overnight stay. The bathrooms probably have a toilet and a sink, but I bet they don't have, like, washroom facilities, showers and bathtubs and things like that.
They do have a washroom. They do have showers and stuff.
Do they? Okay.
I'm not allowed to go in there, and so by the time I get there, the chief is there waiting for me as well, and we're out there. I'm talking with the sergeant that was there,
right?
And what he saw when he got to walk through the facility, because law enforcement gets to go in.
Sure.
Well, then somebody shows up with one of the kids, because by this time there's 12 to 15 quote what this business owner was told, 12 to 15 kids there.
Okay.
And
that's a lot a lot of kids to be in an office building over the weekend.
And Randy, what are the age range of these kids that you saw?
From the age of 2 to 15.
Oh my.
And so start digging a little deeper, and I asked the sergeant that went through, and I said, how many kids were in there? And he said, well, there's only one. And I said, was there a supervisor there? And yes, there was. The caseworker was there, and that was cool. And I said, so where are the rest of the kids? Well, we think 2 are in Artesia. We think 2 are at the core, but that's all we know about. And I said, well, why would they be asking for food for 12 to 15 if they only have 5?
Right.
And so try and get in the middle of that. Well, one of the caseworkers pulls up with a kid and start asking questions, and he's like, look, I can't. I'm going to call my supervisor, and our supervisor is going to come over. So
good.
Supervisor shows up, super nice, and I'd like to go in and I'd like to see the conditions that we're putting our kids in. And she's like, you can't go in.
What?
The police can. And so the chief and the sergeant went back through, and so the chief got to see the conditions.
How is it an elected state representative doesn't get to see the facility that's paid for by tax dollars?
Well, I don't know. I have so many questions right now, but so they go through the facility, and I get some pictures of beds on the floors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. They don't have. So what we end up finding out is that they don't have enough foster parents and temporary displacement parents to help out, or if they do, something else had happened because it is a long weekend and stuff like that, so kids get in there.
Well,
so
and
I just start diving deeper and deeper in this, and the more I find out, the more I hate.
Right, because there are not a shortage of people who want to be foster parents in this state. I've heard, I can't tell you how many horror stories from people who were foster parents, who want to be foster parents, where just because they asked a question, they get thrown out of the system. Or they don't agree with someone politically, so they get thrown out of the system.
And I believe what you're hearing out there. I'm hearing a bunch of the same things. And so now we have to figure that out. So between all of that, so at least the kids that are there, which is somewhere around 5, not 12 to 15.
Right.
Don't ask me what they're going to do with all that
too many
food. But I look at the budget. I look at how much money. I mean, their budget has increased over the last 6 years. Their budget's increased by over 17.5%. Now that's just what the state gives them. I'm not talking about federal at the federal level
or our local businesses.
Yeah, and so why? I mean, we're funding them. And I want to give you a picture on what I see out there. So in right now, their full-time budget is for 2,216 total employees within CYFD. Okay. They actually, as of August 1st, only have 1,613. So they're 600 people shy, just from an overall standpoint
of what they have budgeted. I mean,
of what they have budgeted.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So they have more than 27% less than what they have budgeted. Now let's talk about the money we gave them over the last 2 years to help them get there. So in 2024, we gave them an additional $3 million for a development plan on how to get a workforce. $5 million to properly place employees at a good salary. $3 million for additional staff.
Wow.
Now this was in the 2024, so that was 2023 numbers, right, coming out of the 60-day session.
Right.
As of the 30-day session, 2024, CYFD had spent less than $100,000 out of that on recruiting.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for you going into the next session that's going to be coming up in January?
Well, I have a bunch of questions, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this because there are a bunch of questions, and I want to hear as over time as you guys get questions, maybe you can get them forwarded to me so I can ask more questions that are detailed.
Anyone in our listening area who has information on this or has questions on that, how do they get a hold of you, Randy? How do they do that?
The easiest way is my cell phone, 505-379-6607.
And they can text that to you or call you, right?
They can text or call me there. They can send me an email too, but it's just text is so much quicker.
Sure.
And so, in the fall of 2023, in the protected services portion of CYFD, they had 580 vacancies. They were 50 people shy on permanency placement workers. So in other words, 50 less people than they need working to permanently place a child.
Right.
Okay.
Instead of sending them back to a bad situation.
Exactly. And so that's the other side. You compare New Mexico to the federal government right now. Our repeat maltreatment, which means they get placed back in the original home
right
within 12 months, and they have another issue. It's 2 times the national average.
Wow.
And this is all straight out of a legislative stat report that they did back in June of this last year. Our second quarter, the turnover rate for CYFD is 32%.
Whoa. Well,
How do you even do that?
But isn't that pretty emblematic of Michelle Lujan Grisham's administration? Isn't that kind of the same stat that she's running?
Yeah. And I haven't compared that to the other 17 top agencies, but I would assume you're right on track with that statement, Blake.
Wow.
And so
how can people help? What can they do besides giving the questions to you? What else can they do?
Well, those that want to be foster parents, hopefully this week I'm going to have all the answers to some very basic questions. How do we get foster parents added into the system? And how can we accomplish that? I've got questions on the budget side. Is like, why in the hell is CYFD calling local businesses for food?
Right. I think we lost you, Randy.
I think we did, but
he's back.
There he's back.
Do what?
You were saying
we lost you for a second.
Oh, so just in this last year, from 2024 through 2025, which was the 2023 session and the 2024 session, their budgets increased over 14%, not including what I'm fixing to tell you. Almost $16 million in federal TANF, which is temporary assistance for needy families. $7.6 million in match funds for the feds, so that's a total of $15.2 for Title 4E, which is foster care. Another $1 million in CARO, which is the Comprehensive Addiction Reduction Act, and then another $1 million in Safe Home Visiting. And there has been no movement in the needle in CYFD in workforce recruitment, retention, development improvement, and conditions for our kids. We're giving them all this different money, and this doesn't include the plethora of money that I just went through that is federal based, and there's even more. And they're calling our local businesses for food and for clothes and for sundries.
What's happening to our tax dollars?
Typical Democrat program.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
so I needed the vent.
We need the update. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And I needed our community to know what's going on with CYFD there. I am not in the middle. I'm not done with them.
Right.
I got an update from PD and trying to get the state federal fire marshal in there to do a full inspection on that facility to make sure that they're compliant with whatever temporary rules that they have.
Right.
And God bless the people that I met there that work there. I mean, they're trying to do everything the best they can.
Right.
I am not coming down on those people there. This is coming from Santa Fe. These issues are being held at Santa Fe and outside of the Hobbs area. That whoever oversees this facility from outside of Lee County, trust me, I'm nowhere near done with them.
Well,
be sure and keep us in the loop, Randy. I'm almost out of time. I still got to get to the good news of the day and a few other things, but keep us in the loop, and I want you back real soon to give us an update on what's going on. Do you want to give out your number? Do you want to give out your number again before we let you get out of here?
Sure.
Go ahead.
505-379-6607.
All right. And that's, if you have any questions, give him a text him or give him a call, whichever is easier for you.
And I'll find out ways to get temporary foster homes and foster parents into the system, people that want full-time fostering. I will find answers to all of that, and I'll be able to come back and give that to you.
That'll be awesome.
As soon as I can. And then the other thing, for people that wonder where in the hell I've been, I'm on a job site and have been on a job site in Farmington, New Mexico, and I'll be here for a while. So but I still answer my phone.
There you go. Or a text. That's real easy to do most of the time. Text. So that,
exactly.
all right. Thank you, Randy.
I appreciate you guys.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
So yeah, if you are interested in becoming a foster parent, get in touch with him. He will hook you up on how you do that. We still got good news on the way, but I wanted to tell you that scientists in Japan, they've taken a giant leap forward in technology to get us closer to 6G wireless service. Now, we had a lot of uproar over 5G. Will, you probably remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And imagine a world where you could download an entire season of your favorite TV show in seconds. Well, yeah, the silicone chip smaller than a grain of rice that operates in part of the electromagnetic spectrum that most of us have never heard of. It's the terahertz range. That's going to make 6G possible, and they are working on it right now. Just amazing stuff. And I wonder what kind of people are going to say the 6G tower is killing me, right? And
Thank you to the Roswell aliens, because, they finally reverse engineered 6G.
And there's a lot of stuff that you can joke about that, but there have been whistleblowers that say a lot of our technology has come from reverse engineering on alien technology that we get.
I know we've got to do good news, and I want to get a couple of these texts in real quick, because there's a lot of people that were texting stuff about this. So I know y'all probably won't read this, but we adopted 2 kids out of Carlsbad, and it was the same way inside the facilities. Their social worker said that she had to stay weekends and holidays. Wow. And Shane had said from Roswell that it was the same thing is happening in Chaves County. Yeah. There's kids there in the CYFD office spaces, and older kids threaten and say horrible things to the workers. Man, it's bad. And he also went on to say, I'm so happy that Randy has stepped up and is going to fight that. I'm really feared for my daughter's safety when she was there with these guys late at nights and early in the mornings. I have been on my knees praying a bunch of times. So happy to finally see someone stepping up. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I'm sure that Randy will keep us in the loop, and he will give us updates as we go forward from there. So let's get to some good news. How about it, Will?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Good news of the day brought to us by Farmers Insurance Agent Herschel Rustin Hayes. He's at 1109 West Avenue D in Lovington. You can call him 575-396-0513. Auto, home, life, commercial. Call Rustin Hayes today, 1109 West Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513. Proud sponsor of the good news of the day.
So a 4-year-old broke a 3,500-year-old jug at a museum in Israel. And the good news is they got to go back for another tour over the weekend. They even let them glue a replica together to show how the restoration process works.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the glue didn't hold on the replica and it broke apart. But the process was proven. And the main good news was the kiddo got to come back in after breaking a 3,500-year-old jug. I mean, good gosh.
Broke it twice.
That was hurt. Cops in Wisconsin used a drone to help find a 3-year-old kid who was lost in a 100-acre cornfield. He told them he ran into there while he was chasing a cat. Not sure if it was his cat or just a random cat. If you haven't seen it, check out the video of the Pittsburgh weatherman who recorded his daughter on every first day of school from kindergarten through 18.
Oh,
I
bet that's adorable.
Oh, it really is. And the way they've edited it together, it starts with her first day of kindergarten, and now she's a senior in high school, and it's very cool. There again, every time he asked what she wanted to be when she grew up, her answer changed a lot over the years, so it's very cute. And yeah, check it out. So again, Pittsburgh weatherman recorded his daughter, and you do a search for that about the daughter first day of school, and you'll probably find it. So that is the good news of the day.
Good news of the day being brought to you by Herschel Rustin Hayes. Call him today, 575-396-0513. Yeah, for this Tuesday after Labor Day. Wow, we made it through, gentlemen. Got another day to go before Kevin gets back here. Yeah, we're going to get out of here. We got Russ next, the award-winning Russ Black. He's going to be taken up with Tradio. But, of course, we got to check in with news first. News being brought to you by Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating, the choice for your next HVAC job. With 15-plus years in the business, Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating trains its techs with the requirements and standards of all major ductless companies, servicing residential and commercial as well as industrial units for the patch. They can even offer new technology like inverter-driven heat pump systems to upgrade old systems. and financing is available. Call Enrique Rocha today, 575-631-1999, and schedule an appointment. Again, 575-631-1999 for Rocha's Air Conditioning and Heating. We're out of here. Say bye, Tom.
All right.
Oh, God.
All right. Somebody's going to owe me $20 after we get off the air on this one.
Yeah, the slap is coming.
All right. We will see you tomorrow for a Wednesday version of B and the Breakfast Club. Like I said, the award-winning Russ Black is next with Tradio right here on W105.
MTD Radio News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Get the